Just double checking my phone to make sure it is actually receiving.
Never tilted ever.
Because I swear, the most I
tilted a couple times.
The most I ever actually raged as like a creator was when me and my buddy Google, we were playing Ready or Not, the SWAT tactical shooter. For some reason, it hated the thumbnails I made. Literally, it would literally just be like promotional material I just threw up as a wallpaper, and like nothing more as of a picture in like SWAT kitted out gear and like usual weaponry. Nothing excessively weird, like it looked like the average Call of Duty guy. But for some reason, YouTube absolutely hated it and refused to actually let my broadcast go through with certain thumbnails. That I had to take it down, put up a new thumbnail, different one. All right, that one worked. So apparently that picture was hated. It was the most I was like ever angry at a thing.
That's frustrating for sure.
To the point that it hasn't happened in like months, but I'm still checking my live streams to make sure they're actually going through from an external source. All right, yeah, that's working.
Ooh.
All right. So hello everyone in my audience, current and future. Welcome to Debate Destiny, hosted by our gracious host, HaikuJustice Gaming. And today joining us, we are with familiar friends, one UncleJolly. You've seen him past in Debate Destiny, a familiar friend who is one of the shit posters of my friend group, Google, as well as one of Jolly's friends, SighDUX. And that is how it is said. It is literally no alternatives. He is very particular about that. But with that, we are going to be talking about elitism and how it kind of makes everything worse, because really, who actually tolerates elitism nowadays? But with that, once Haiku gets going, we shall, of course, get going. Once again, shout out to all content creators that have collaborated with us, current or past. They are, of course, gracious people. Happy to have them aboard. And, of course, always with my audience, go ahead and check out their channels, give them follows, watch a few of their videos, some of their content. Always share the love.
Yo, thank you so much, bro. Like, I be feeling special when you do it like that, bro.
You have a very good voice. That was the
You know what was funny? I was doing jury duty a few weeks ago, and before we even knew each other's names for like the panel I was on, because I actually got selected, when I mentioned I did YouTube, one of the women that was in there was like, you know, you actually have a voice for YouTube. And there was a part of me that was like, that's not like saying I have a face for radio. She's actually being complimentary and saying I have a good YouTube voice.
Oh, man. I was actually just about to say, like, you have a incredible YouTube voice, actually. Like it's not annoying, like, it's, you know, but, you know, no shade towards anybody specifically. Also, how's my mic, y'all? Am I coming in?
It just started topping out a little bit.
It's getting a bit fuzzy for me.
It knows you noticed it, so now it's gonna work fine.
Oh my gosh!
Somebody, when you get passionate, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, it just hates me if I'm being real.
Scorpion,
Minimum
if
passion
YouTube for
needed.
whatever reason doesn't work out, you should do like Family Feud.
You know, it's
Like, you
honestly
should do,
funny.
like, deal or no deal.
I thought about that because it was a weird thing. In another server I hung out in occasionally, there's people who recognize my profile picture and like the series it's from. But there was people that actually said I kind of sounded like the character it's from. And I jokingly did a character's line, and they were like, oh, Jesus Christ, that sounded way too real.
From Hazbin Hotel, right?
Yeah. Where it was just
I'll
like
make this
randomly
right
in
now.
pure science. I was just like, Vox Tech, trust us with your science.
It does.
It is a little uncanny.
I switched my headset, guys. How's this sound to y'all?
That worked
Sounds
good.
good.
Better.
Okay, cool. Because it seems to not work. My mic doesn't seem to work for Discord, but it works perfectly fine for TikTok Live.
It's weird you mention that because Discord was starting to go robot for a little bit in there. Like I heard the glitchiness.
It's just like I can't catch a break, you know?
You need the sweet spot,
Also,
man.
always interrupt me if it starts like messing up. I don't want to just talk and everybody's
Messing
like,
up.
See, That's why I'm
Okay.
sad
Just-
that my soundboard updated and removed my censor button, because that was such a good way to get somebody's attention, just randomly beep, 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 and people go, oh, wait, shit.
Son of a bitch.
It does seem to be having some issues. This would be a good time if we had a headset sponsored this show.
You know,
would be.
I'm waiting for the day. I always check gamer subs, considering how much they like literally have like apply for sponsorship stuff for like creators and all that.
I hope you get it, man.
I hope I get one too.
I mean, I check it, but every time I look, they're not accepting.
I just applied for the Harbor Freight content creator program, and they, unlike Bungie, they actually emailed me back and said we will be reviewing.
No, that was me with Arrowhead, because I had posted a video talking about a bug, and I actually got a reply same day, and they were like straight up, it's like, all right, we are actually aware of that, but there's not much we can actually do. Hopefully it makes this the next update, but at the same time, there's nothing further we can do, so thank you for your time, but we're going to close this out. And I literally just write, it's like, knowing you know is more than enough. Thank you.
Right, exactly. So, well, if I get the Harbor Freight, like, content, dude, that would be so cool and mad helpful. Just for me in general.
It would certainly pop off.
So, yeah. No.
God, that actually reminds me. Jolly, have you ever seen the creator of Spotto? Who's like the very Australian dude that, it's basically like car shit posting, really.
Nah, I've never seen it.
Oh, when I say he shit posts, it's hilarious because have you seen those like ASMR women with cars where it's like they'll go in and it's like Bugatti, and then they're just like showing random parts, flicking bits, and like pressing buttons.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
No, I've never been on that side of social media.
Oh, that's not even like that side. That's just like mechanic or just like car culture that ends up. But hang on, I'll send it to you because literally it'll be like one side will be a chick. She's like looking over a Lamborghini and like flicking the rims or something into the side. Are you Ford Falcon? And he'll just rev the shit out of it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I gotta see this, yeah.
Yeah, I'll see if I can
They're
find
like they're like ASMR car bunnies. So model type things with hair done, makeup done, outfit, nails, and they're just clacking that acrylic on everything and then rubbing leather, and it's just, well, it's for some people. I'll say that.
Testing 1 2.
Sounds good, man.
Sorry, no, I'm sorry. This is for. I'm sorry, my bad. Go ahead. I was pay me no mind. Actually, you know what? Let's we're about to go over the rules real fast because I have started the timer on live. Oh crap! I gotta actually put the timer here. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second.
I just sent one to you, Jelly.
Okay, let me check it out right now since I have some free time. Instantly went to my Snapchat. Don't know why.
The dude has
Oh,
one
is
of
it
like
in
the coarsest voices I've ever heard.
That's Google's Twitch. That's. Where did you send it?
Oh, on your TikTok.
Oh, which I'm assuming the old one.
Oh, that reminds me, I need to link my stream.
You had
We
one
can
job,
thank you.
Scorp.
The Pontiac GTO.
I think it's like one of the cars that you only find in the AU or Australia.
That's for sure.
Because
That's
it's
definitely
literally like a sedan pickup. And I looked at that car and I was like,
Oh,
you know, I
yeah,
actually
it's-
really want one looking at that. It reminds me of like the old Chevy CSR like bed trucks that were like a sport car but a pickup that really didn't work.
That's dope. It looks like the front of the body look. Oh, I know what it is. Yeah, it's an EU. I don't remember the name of the vehicle, but I've
I
seen.
think it's
it
like a
before.
Holden Commodore or something like that.
Something like that.
But yeah, that's probably the video I see the most from him. Is he making just parodies of those car bunny videos? And the other one is him like doing Gmod recreations in real life.
Hell yeah. Love that.
What I think about is getting a GoPro and like wearing it, and so you got like a POV of like daily like vehicles and things like that. Like it's actually, I watch a lot more automotive things than I do Destiny, and that's like, I don't know.
Hey guys, we got
Yes,
6
sir.
minutes before the show starts. So over these
good.
rules real fast, so we can all be clear on it real fast. All right. So this is the panel and guest rules. Rule number 1: mic structure and debate flow. Panelists and guest speakers will be selected at random for each discussion round. When selected to hold the mic, each speaker will have 30 seconds to 1 minute. So I will be having a timer, which is why it's good to have the stream up. But technically, it's too much lag, so I would definitely just, it's probably like.
Oh, you're breaking up
enough
a
for
bit,
everybody. I'm breaking up again.
Yeah, Discord breakup.
Yeah,
not like you topping out. This is like bad reception or something.
Well, am I back? Am I sounding good? Yeah, I
Nope.
see myself lagging. Actually, I do see it. I see it now. Let me do this one right here. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. How do I?
Breaking up a
It's
bit at the
still
end.
a little
Hello.
spotty.
Hello.
That's fine.
Sounds
This is torture. This is actually torture. This is actually torture. Hello.
Isn't that the reality of
hello,
streaming though, where it's like most of streaming is just
hello,
technical difficulties?
Hello.
At this point, it's not even a word.
Hello.
It's clear for now.
Hello.
Sounds good.
Hello.
I'm gonna be sleeping now.
Hello.
Just gonna hear hello.
Hello.
Tossing and turning. Be like, make it stop.
Reminds me of the Tommy Boy movie where they're doing roads, roads.
Rowan.
Rowan.
Hello.
I feel like we're in the back rooms.
Hello.
I'm convinced this is my conscience.
This is
talking to
ridiculous.
me.
It's actually ridiculous.
You know, the first time you
I
said
can't hear it.
ridiculous, it was breaking up,
But
but
I
the
can't hear
second
you
time
right
it was
now.
all
I
right.
see y'all talking too.
Oh, you can't hear us.
Hold on, let me see. Let me refresh this. At least my stream is enough. But I got 3 minutes.
Technology.
I feel like
Oh, my
every
goodness
week there's
gracious.
technical issues.
Sometimes leaving and rejoining the
Let
PC.
me
does
try
something.
this.
Yeah, like the first 15 minutes of my stream was nothing. Apparently, I hadn't made a new game source. Don't feel bad. You're not the only one, H.
I can hear you guys.
Sitting here shooting
Good
shit with a
support.
blank screen.
Okay.
How do
Dude,
I?
I went out-
That's so funny.
I went a whole stream like that. I went through a whole solo flawless dungeon, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, we didn't hear any volume." I was like, "What? So you
Oh,
just
nice.
watched me do this whole time, but no
tell
game
you-
audio?" They were like, "Yeah."
Tell you what,
I was
load
like,
up Pit of Heresy. We'll race during the debate.
That's diabolical.
Well,
Hey,
my
guys,
ADHD is not gonna let me do it. I already don't like that dungeon very much.
I was like,
Man, nobody does but me. I'm so sad. All right, duality.
Hello.
Duality.
We,
might
we hear
add
you,
me
H, but you're a
because
little
no-
quiet.
My
Hello?
my
How
stream
about
is
now? Can you hear
in
me?
my chat is saying
Yeah,
hello
it's
back,
better.
by the way. Every time you say hello, people are saying hello too.
Hey, shout out to the chat, y'all. I appreciate y'all being patient and everything. I really do. Can you,
Oh,
how
one
do
of
I
them's
sound? How's
bilingual?
the quality?
It's good. It's soothing.
Sounds good now.
It sounds good. Oh, sure, guys.
It reminds me of Michael B. Jordan.
Not as good as my main man Zavala in the tower, but pretty good.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Okay, let's.
There you go.
All right.
Now you sound great.
I sound great. Okay, good. All right. Okay, I did some
Now we're
restructure.
flirting.
Oh, are we good? Because I got to get through this. Are we good?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
You're
cool.
so good. You're awesome.
Each speaker will have 30 seconds to 1 minute. The time will be active. And no interruptions during this window, just so that way we can keep it moving forward, because there is a reason for that. If correction is necessary, keep it very brief, or make a note or save it for open debate, which I will go over momentarily. Panelists and guests are strongly encouraged to be on PC if possible, so that they can have the live stream open, following timing, chat, and discussion flow. After everyone has spoken once, the floor will be open for open debate. So basically, once everybody speaks, it's going to be an open debate where you guys can just, you can interrupt, you can correct, and everything. Open debate lasts between 5 to 8 minutes maximum per topic. So the overall subject is elitism tonight, but you will also have 5 to 8 minutes of maximum talking, open debate, and everything. And then we'll move on to the next topic point, right? So it's like if we start saying like, hey, the topic point right now is why are the communities so toxic? We do each 30-second minute, 30 seconds to a minute for each person, and then we do a 5 to 8 minute debate about it, and then we move on to the next question. When the timer ends, the show will move on immediately to the next subject. The next topic. Rule number 2: stream awareness and chat respect. Panelists and guests are encouraged to watch the live stream while participating. This helps maintain awareness of chat reactions, polls, community support, and gifts. Please allow brief pauses between speakers so that the host can catch up on the chat. That's myself, the host, right? Catch up on the chat, acknowledge community input, and maintain pacing. Always wait for the host cue before speaking. This prevents cutting off chat, callouts, and transitions. Rule number 3: debate etiquette and mindset. This is a debate. Allow others fully to speak during their time mic window. Save rebuttals for open debate. Note-taking is highly encouraged. Writing down names, points, claims you want to address help reduce anxiety and improves clarity during rebuttals. Do not take disagreements personally. Do not take them personally, please. Expect strong opinions and hot takes. Respect is required, but toxic positivity is discouraged. Debate ideas, not people. Passion is welcome. Bad faith is not. Rule number 4: claims versus opinions. Clearly distinguish opinions from claims of fact. Opinions are always welcome. Claims presented as facts should be reasonably framed or supported. If a claim is challenged, clarify briefly during open debate, or acknowledge uncertainty and move on. Being corrected is not a loss. I might be wrong is encouraged. Repeatedly asserting unverified claims as fact may result in the host moving the discussion forward. That's basically just saying the same point over and over again that we already either accepted or we can't cooperate with. Rule number 5: personal stories and pacing. Personal experiences are welcome, but keep them brief and relevant. Avoid repeating the same story or point multiple times. Please avoid long tangents, self-pity spirals, turning discussion points into monologues. If more detail is needed, the host or the panel will ask for clarification. Reminder: clear, concise points keep the debate strong and engaging. Two more rules. Rule number 6: join/leave and notifications. Panelists and guests do not need to acknowledge when someone joins the Discord, leaves the Discord, enters or exits a voice channel. Allow notifications, shout outs, and acknowledgements will be handled by the host. That's me, myself. This removes social pressure, prevents interruptions, keeps pacing smooth, makes the show feel professional and organized. Rule number 7, and the last but not least: moderate support and communication. Moderators will assist with designating tasks, including chat moderation, speaker cues, timing, poll management, transitions, and flags. Moderators will have separate communication channels with the host. This allows the issues to be handled without interrupting the debate. Panelists and guests do not need to respond to moderators' actions unless prompted by the host. Final reminder: Debate Destiny exists to challenge ideas, surface perspectives, and improve the game through conversation, not to win arguments. Bring your passion, bring receipts, keep it respectful, let the debate breathe, let the host guide the room. Let's fix Destiny. I really appreciate y'all taking the time to, let me go over that and everything.
Thank you for going over it.
By the way,
It
do not
sounds great.
expect. Oh, great. Thank you. I don't expect to memorize it. Like, I will put it in the chat and everything. And like I said, most of it, I will be conducting everything as we go. So you don't need to remember everything that I just said. But let's go ahead and get the show going. I'm going to do the typical introductions, and we're going live. All right. Shout out to everybody who's joined in the chat, who stuck around. I really appreciate you guys. Sorry for the delay. Had to go over the rules with everybody. But I am looking forward to tonight's episode, man. We got a great subject and a talked panel tonight. Some people that I'm very excited to actually talk to and everything. All right, Guardians, welcome back to another episode of Debate Destiny. Today's episode is real. We're talking about something that doesn't get addressed. Well, doesn't get addressed enough. Why did it do that to me? We're talking about something that doesn't get addressed enough in this community. Elitism in Destiny 2. Who gets listened to? Who gets talked down to? Who gets pushed out? And who feels like they don't belong anymore? The topic was brought to us by none other than UncleJolly, and there's a reason it matters so much tonight, because this is going to be his last Debate Destiny episode and his last chapter of Destiny content creation. Jolly has been honest, he's been vocal, and he's always tried to speak for the community, whether people agree with him or not. So tonight, we're giving him the floor to really unpack how this space has changed and why he's stepping away. And he's not doing it alone. Tonight's panel, we've got, oh man, my favorite YouTuber. I cannot lie. The Mad Scorpion. How you going, bro? How you doing tonight, man?
Good as always, sir. Thank you for having me.
I hope I didn't cut out on any of that. I would be very embarrassed and everything.
No, you came through perfectly fine, boss man.
That's great. Are you looking forward to tonight's discussion and everything?
I am, because I've certainly had my own share of elitism ruin the game for me, so I'm happy to share my stances on that.
You gotta love it, bro. You gotta love it. Let me go ahead and introduce the man of the hour as well. UncleJolly, man. Like, tonight is technically your last episode, which I saw in the comments. People were super bummed out about that. Some of my homies and everything. But how you feeling, man? Talk to me, bro.
Well, that was low-key a jerker, bro. That was awesome. You did that amazing.
I'm glad to hear it.
It's hard to say. It's bittersweet in some sense, in other sense it feels like the right move, right? It feels like I'm doing what I'm doing at the right time, and I'll go into some of those reasons once, I'm thinking we probably go into those reasons towards like maybe the end of this, right? So we're not hogging the space, but I'm definitely glad to be here, and I think this is a really good topic to end it up, like my appearance with the show, and the show's been amazing. So again, thank you, Haiku, for even having me in the first place.
We always know, man, if you ever come out of retirement, you always got a slot on the panel, bro. And we're definitely going to give you the floor tonight for sure, absolutely. I don't mind when the big ones leave, because they had a great career, but it's always sad when we lose them in general, you know what I'm saying? Big or small, I think you're one of the bigger ones. But let me go ahead and move on. Of course, we have two new voices tonight joining us. I'm very much looking forward to. We didn't go over the specifications, actually, funny enough, for one of them, but I will introduce the other one. Let's give a round of applause for my man's SighDUX, man. How are you doing tonight, bro? Let's get some information about you, man. Who you are, who the people can probably find you, and everything, brother. I'm so glad to have you.
Thank you very much for that. I am doing well. I hope you're doing well as well. As you said, I'm SighDUX. My line is I build players, not egos, every week. I mentor about 30 to 50 people alongside 5 other people in PvP. And I also do like VOD reviews, life coaching, all of that free, just because I want to help people improve in PvP, and also have a large focus on mental health, because you need to be in the right headspace to improve or to learn.
I love that, man. I love that. And you said you train people in PvP?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I saw something like that in the chat earlier and everything. How much do you charge, bro? What's your rate?
I do it all for free. Just because I love my community.
Oh, man, that is what we love to hear, bro. And honestly, bro, I think you're a perfect match for the panel and everything. I think low key, UncleJolly did some some strategizing and tried to get you to replace them and everything. So I do appreciate that, bro. You don't even need to say anything. And then last but not least, I would absolutely love to give the floor to this person. I'm not going to give any details. I'm going to let him say what he wants and how he wants to describe himself right now. But he's becoming one of my new favorite people in the Destiny community as well. How are you doing, Googlesfb? How you doing, brother?
Just Google works, man. I'm here to set off all your little home devices. I'm doing pretty good. I've been testing games professionally for 11 years now. Did a couple of years with Sledgehammer stuff non-professionally before that. And a lot of work on the franchise from launch up through Forsaken. And taking a little bit of time off because disagreements here and there, but kind of liking playing some mindless strikes, getting ready to do this panel with you, man.
Dude, you know, man, that is incredible, bro. You are being incredibly diplomatic about the situation, political correct, if you will, and no toxic positivity whatsoever. But I'm so glad to have you, bro. I really am looking forward to it.
Thank you.
So let's go ahead. Let's keep it moving. Different perspectives, different experiences, and one real conversation. No gatekeeping, no talking down, no pretending that this isn't an issue. Tonight we're asking: is elitism hurting Destiny? Is it pushing players out? And how do we fix it, if we even can? Let's go ahead and get into it. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Yo, what's going on? To everybody, I really appreciate you guys for joining and everything. I hope you guys can hang around because this is going to be a great conversation. Also, if there's any audio problems, please feel free to alert me because I am struggling with Go XLR for no reason. It's too expensive to be having these type of problems. So since tonight was brought up by the incredible UncleJolly and everything. Did I say late and great earlier? I'm so sorry, bro. You're not dead.
No, I hope not.
I'm so sorry, but we're gonna give you the floor, man. Let's have you jump off the conversation with whatever subject you want. We'll ask some questions based off of what you want to feed into, and we'll give the floor to everybody else. We're not gonna do a timer for Jolly because he's gonna set the pace. Afterwards, I will start doing the timers, so that way we can keep a track and everything. So go ahead, bro. The floor is yours. You had the mic.
Awesome. I think this is the first time I got to go first. So since tonight is about elitism, and I feel like it depends on what year of Destiny are we talking about, right? If we're talking about current day, I don't think elitism or that conversation can be really held in the right light because the way Bungie has handled things since Edge of Fate going into Renegades, there's not much outside of the day one raid and our contest mode dungeons, and I think almost those situations it validates elitism because I feel like the way people think what elitism is elitism keeping people out? Is it gatekeeping? Is it I want all this loot to myself and you don't deserve it? I think that's the question. But if you ask me, I feel like it can ruin some people's experience, but I also think it's those, depending on who you are and what you're going into, it's their job to understand what are they going into, right? So like, let's say you're a new light and you hear about Desert Perpetual or you see it on your social media and you feel entitled to being able to do that raid without any experience, right? Is it elitism to tell that guy, no, you're not ready for that and we're not going to take you through this because you're not quite there yet? Or does, like, in that situation, we can drive it, who's the bad guy? Is it the new light who really wants to do a raid and feel like he's entitled to that content because he paid for it? Or is it the guys keeping him from doing that raid because they understand he's not ready for that level of content? And so I feel like that is where we should start this topic. Are new players entitled to in-game loot without any other grind?
Yes, I absolutely love that actually. And I feel like that's a great question. How should we even can't hear a thing on TikTok? Oh my goodness, I am so sorry.
I remember at least 20% of what I just said. So if you need me to re-say what I said, I can.
It's you're all good, brother. Honestly, we're just gonna have to run it through and everything. And I would do introductions as we go again, all over again and everything, because I totally forgot to turn off the mute and everything. Thank you for everybody for being so patient with that. Thank you. Somebody gave it a shout out to you, Versus. But nonetheless, though, what the question, right? You can go ahead and give us an overlap of what you were saying again, like how you feel about it.
So I'm gonna paint the example, and then we can follow up like the question, and everyone can go around and they think. So I feel like elitism is it's opinionated. I think it depends on what year Destiny we're talking about, and I think it's how players tend to view what elitism is, right? So the example that I give is, let's say you're a new light, right? You've seen all over TikTok, you've seen social media. We can use Desert Perpetual because it's the most recent raid, right? Or even the dungeon. Should a new light with no experience be entitled to that loot because they paid for that content? And is it elitism to deny that person from doing that grind if like veteran players understand that new light is not ready for that kind of content? So who's wrong in that situation?
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and start with one of our new guests, just so that way we can move off of it. Between Google and SighDUX, who feels comfortable going first with it? Anybody feel comfortable with starting off the conversation?
I'm ready if Cy needs a minute.
No, if you want to go first, I'll let you go first. But
we'll go ahead.
Whenever.
Thank you, SighDUX. You definitely he's being very memorable. Ooh, once again, could you give us a quick little overview, because I am a freaking nuts for like not unmuting the Discord. Tell us who you are and how you're gonna just disrupt my Google. Oh crap! Don't listen to me.
I'd like to say that's why it's the gamer tag, but man, I've had that for almost 20 years now. I'm Google. You can put the extra stuff on it if you want, but I just answer to Google. Professional game tester for AAA companies. If you know of a AAA company, I've worked on their games for more than a decade now. And used to very much love Destiny. This was like a 60-hour-a-week game for me. But on the topic of what Jolly said, I want to hone on specifically, should the new lights have to work for their stuff? I feel like they should have to have some level of grind. It teaches them the skills. It helps them learn how to make their builds, how they want to tune their supers, what kind of supers they want to run for different scenarios and different encounters. To me, it's practically required training. And when I've got a new guy that's kind of on the lower end and wanting to work their way up to dungeons or world first or something like that, we run a bunch of older content and I teach them how to use stuff. The new lights, if they can just buy the new season and they're at roughly max power with some decent guns, it's going to be a detriment to the team. It's going to be stressful for them. They're not going to know what they're doing, and it's going to slow the entire fire team down trying to say, hang on, man, you got the wrong grenade. This is going to suit you better for your play style. Whereas you could knock all that out in a couple of weeks of pretty decent play time leading up to those competitions. I think the new light should have to grind for something. And for the veteran players to say, look, man, I want to take some more time running some more content with you before I get you on this team, is wildly different from the D1 days of going into Crota and you not having Galley and they just boot you immediately. I think the teaching new guys, not so much elitism. The old stuff, like Jolly said, what season are we talking about? Absolutely a bigger problem in the older days.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to read some of this chat and we're going to move on to the next guest. Thank you for everybody joining and everything. We got some legends in here and everything. Jacob says, World D2 is obviously dead enough for you to be getting views from this instead of gameplay. Wow, what a hot take. Goodness gracious. But I do appreciate the support. He's joking though, of course, and everything. Shout out to Beast. He's in here tonight. Can't hear a thing. Ignore my previous comment anyway. What's good, Haiku? I don't know what you said earlier, bro. But we're gonna ignore it, bro. I'm just gonna skip past that because knowing you, cheese guy. Destiny will not be a competitor anymore and hasn't been for quite a while. Bungie sold. That was said by Categorized Flesh. Goodness gracious, what a brutal name. But you should have been here for Is Destiny Dead? Because that would have been a great topic, talking point for you as well. Versus says Bungie caters to casuals nowadays because what's been happening since Edge of Fate is population wasn't an issue. We be more balanced when it comes to hardcore stuff and casuals. Now we're going to give the floor to our next guest, which is SighDUX and everything. It's all you, brother. How do you feel? Go ahead and give your thoughts on the current state.
I think elitism is a bit different than not helping a new light. Like, yes, I agree that they should have to do a little bit to go through, but I say whether you play PvP or PvE, you've probably seen this idea in different ways. I think know what to do is the PvE thing. I think stat checking, loadout shaming, all of that is the PvP type of elitism. At some point, knowledge stopped being something we shared and started being something we used to sort each other. Destiny teaches very little inside the game, and most of what you're going to learn is socially or through videos. And I believe that knowledge should be a bridge between new players and veteran players, not a gate. And I think that a lot of times when I see know what to do, it appears as a bridge to new players, because if they never get any reps in, how they know what to do. But for endgame content, for me, that's like masters, contest. Yes, you have to put the paces in, but just a new raid, there's almost no difference between new raids and old raids with the current builds in the game.
Mm-hmm. And just so that way we can go ahead and recap, please give us a small introduction to who you are and some of the things that you are all about when it comes to Destiny.
Okay. Very quickly, my background is I did Major League Gaming. I played a couple games professionally. Halo was one of them, Halo 2, Halo 3. But with what I had, the stages, the crowds, it got a little overwhelming, but I never lost the analytical nature. I've always loved the coaching. So what I do is I build players, not egos. And with 5 other people that I've been doing for years, we help 30 to 50 people every week get better at PvP free of charge. I also do VOD reviews and discussions about mental health, because self-improvement starts with the mind as much as with the skill.
Love that, bro. I think I asked your prices. I'll be waiting for your rates in the chat, bro. I will be, okay, because I need some more help. But I definitely can respect it. We got some really good takes in there, actually. Let's go ahead and catch up on the chat real fast, and then we'll move on to you, Scorpion. I'm actually I'm adrenaline's pumping for yours right now. But let me read this chat real fast. Cheese Guy said he said, I play Destiny and Destiny 2. I can say I like them, but I can also admit the game is dying. And we've already addressed that, right? We did an episode where we talked about Destiny being dead, or is it dying and everything. Sometimes you get sick, and I like to consider Destiny being sick, right? Like Destiny's just sick right now, and it's healing, and it needs to be healed. It needs some medicine. It's got a virus right now, and it definitely
some
needs
milk.
Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my! Let me get my soundboard up because I'm gonna need it for you specifically, Scorpion. I'm gonna need it for you, actually. But let me move on. Let me read the next one. When it comes to players putting KWTD, it's just because they want a quick run. That's true. We're gonna actually talk about that. We're gonna have a round where we talk about that specifically. So I do appreciate that. I am looking forward to speaking about that, because I'm a little indifferent about it. I feel like it's a little different than must have Gallahorn. Oh my gosh, it feels so old. When it teaching teaching a player is fulfilling. Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for the likes, cheese guy. So, Scorpion, let's go ahead and get this moving. What are your thoughts on the current state, brother?
So it's such a weird topic, the idea of elitism, because it has definitely evolved and rotated and just kind of turned up on its head back and forth. Because it's like Google said, once upon a time in Destiny, during a solar burn skull loss, if you didn't have Galahorn, you would likely be kicked out, even if you had something else that could have gone in its place. There was a time that if you literally didn't have a piece of gear, it wasn't happening. And that kind of still exists nowadays, and it reaches to a weird idea of Bungie almost creating a game where the entire game has to be played to enjoy every part of it. And to explain what I mean by that, flashback to when Pantheon was around, me and my crew, we were a random group. We were effective. Google was one of them. We got together some real cracked players, and in a week and a half's time, we absolutely crushed Pantheon and got over 4 weeks of the process, but we got snubbed at Nezarec. We just could not get that last little bit of health for the final stand, and we fought to the end, but we didn't get it. But then, flashback to a day or two after, all of a sudden my feed is filled with people doing low man speedruns of Nezarec, glittering Nezarec, whatever he was. But this time they're all doing perfect god roll cataphract GLs adept from trials. And it's one of those things when you think back to like when Mountaintop Recluse was the biggest idea. You had to go play competitive Crucible for that, and how rough it was as a general PvE player to rise to that extent. And sure, I did that as well. I did the grind. I eventually got to Mythic, got all of them at the same time. But at the same time, will we need to play a game where if we want the best gear for a different section of the game, we have to go and get good at another section and beat all the good people over there? It's good to branch out and dip your toes in, but it shouldn't be a requirement to reach an end game, let's say an end game podium of one section of the game requiring another end game podium. Because then that just creates a world where suddenly you need to be the best at everything to be the best at one thing. And it certainly gets rough from that point.
My mind right now, I have debatable.
I've already made some notes for sure.
Yeah. I like that. Me and Scorpion are finally gonna maybe butt heads.
I mean, absolutely. I do appreciate that there is always the grind. There is always things to go for. But to me, it's always been a sour note when a entirely different beast of an activity is the source of a solution to another activity. It always felt weird to me when it's like, I need a car, so let me go and play some golf. You know, it's like right. It's like that weird kind of connection. That's always created a weird kind of scenario of elitism for me, because like I said, you got to be good at every part of the game to sometimes master the end parts of where you will be really good at.
I gotcha. Is Haiku there? Is Haiku?
Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry. Thank you. I appreciate it. I thought I pushed the button. Let's go ahead and move forward. That was really like some incredible takes that you gave there, Matt Scorpion. That was absolutely phenomenal. And I'm actually looking forward to open debate because I see like you guys are raring to go. Let me read these comments and then we're gonna do open debate right here. We have Versus. Thank you so much for all the support that you have been putting in the chat. It's something more players should want to teach more, and they do it, and they do it we also have jobs too. I think he's saying it's really nice to be able to, excuse me for butchering it and everything. I need to pop this chat out and everything. I can't tell your name right now, so I'm sorry, forgive me. They need to stop releasing super new and bring back some old stuff such as raised weapons and armor. We're going to talk about that too, actually, and how the community tends to talk about that. But thank you for your comment. Somebody said Ergo Sum. I think there might have been talking. Okay, cool. Okay, that's a good thing. That's a good thing, though. You should want to play all parts of the game. We have a strong elitist in the comments, and I am happy to hear you're more than welcome. That's the grind we love. It's why Mountaintop and Recluse was so good. Why it was painful. While it was painful, just because you pay for the DLC, a weapon exists, and doesn't mean you should automatically get it. I think we all kind of agree on that. You pay for the right to earn a weapon.
Yeah,
like pinnacle weapons.
I've never felt good
but
about like New
not-
Land Beyond only being behind the deluxe edition and not being able to earn it any other way. You can only buy
Hold
it.
on,
That's
wait a
never
second.
sad.
Hold that thought. We're gonna put that in a minute because I'm glad you said that. Actually, you pay for the right to earn a weapon like pinnacle weapons, but now we don't have those anymore. And last, to be caught up on the chat because we're gonna do open debate. Nendezi, bro, where do you find these pictures? My friend wants to know. We all know you are the friend. Juggernaut says, like Earl Sum, you must pay for the expansion. So we're gonna do open debate. We're gonna talk about it. Clearly we have some people. We're gonna just leave the floor. Go ahead and start speaking. I feel like Jolly, you go ahead and just because you sound like you wanted to say something to Matt Scorpion and everything.
I'm gonna address someone who says something in your stream, and then I'm gonna address Scorpion on a topic. So I've never understood this. Some of us have jobs. People that there's certain things that are like stilled arguments, right? The whole we have jobs. I have a job. I'm sure everyone else in here has a job.
For a long time,
job
I
has never-
held up
a
my
job
job
has-
and did YouTube.
Right. The Destiny community needs to stop focusing on these, oh, I have 3 kids, or oh, I have 2 jobs, or oh, the lights went out today, or oh, it's 20 degrees outside, or oh, it feels a little different inside, or oh, my bananas aren't ripe. Like, it's always this weird, I have a job that's never stopped me from going and send it. I have a job that's never stopped me from competing in day ones. I have a job. It's never stopped me from doing solo flawless. I have a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's if you want to, you will. And if you don't want it, then you don't deserve it. And that might sound very elitism, right, within itself, but I don't think it is. I feel like, in general, Destiny players have gotten this facade that they deserve everything in the game with 0 to no effort, right? And to touch on what Scorpion was saying, that he didn't like, and I can somewhat agree on the aspect of, well, he didn't like that he had to go to PvP and do some things in order to get the best loadout or the most optimal, damage for the content that he wanted to do. But in the same breath, that is almost what makes the experience, right? Like, when you go into it, you were clearly capable. It was the difference in wanting to or not wanting to. And that's where we get into end game. The end game isn't about what you want to do. You have to do what the content is requiring of you, right? It's like day 1 raids. You shouldn't go into day 1 raids with this illusion that you're going to get it done in 3 hours and get out. You have to do what is required of you for these dungeons, these day 1 challenges, these hard raids, Pantheon. Because here's the thing, if everyone could do it, then it wouldn't be special anymore, right? If everyone did Pantheon and everyone was rocking the emblem, like the very last one, you wouldn't feel that special about it, would you, Scorpion? If you just saw everyone, your friends list having it, right?
No, I do agree.
Scorpion?
I do agree with that.
But-
it probably wouldn't be that special. There is an extent where I'll even hold this to my own regard. I have a own section of elitism for me, because up until Heresy, I had pride in myself that I'd actually managed to keep up Gilded Conqueror since it was introduced and all the way up to Heresy, which is when I took a break from the game and stopped caring about it. And that was a level of pride for myself, and I had almost never seen anyone else with that title. So I do 100% agree with that. Some things actually do need to be on a pedestal, if that makes sense. Or if that's what you were saying. Some things have to be an exclusive club.
And I'll finish that. And that's and I'll let out someone else because I could keep going on this. But that is the core of Destiny that we are missing here. People strike elitism, and I don't know where it's gotten this bad taste. I think there are levels of elitism that's really bad, right? there's a line that you cross from elitism to toxicity, right? They almost blend. They're almost in the same breath. But there's not enough of that members only, right? I like it's for the same thing. If I want it, for instance, you have to get Finality, Argus, Catalyst to be able to do a lot of these solo dungeons optimally, right?
Bleh.
And if I have a harder time in doing solo flawless because I wasn't willing to go get this weapon, that's on me. That's not where I get to say, well, I really feel like more weapons should be able to do optimal DPS. Or more things should be options. I shouldn't just be stuck to this one item. It's about the journey of getting the right loadout. It's like preparing for a road trip. You want the right things. And if you don't get the right things, you can still do the road trip. That road trip's just going to be a lot worse for you than what it would have been if you did it the right way.
I'm gonna just go ahead and jump in here because you know what I really want. I want to hear from our two guests, because one of our guests actually Sherpas people and helps them in Crucible, and the other one, well, he's a playtester. We're going to go with Google for sure. I want to hear from Google specifically. Dude, like, how do you personally feel as a playtester when you hear these things that are being put on the table right now?
From a professional standpoint, like separating myself from Destiny, there's always going to be a top of the leaderboard. There has to be. It doesn't matter if it is 100% accessible to everybody. Nobody on this panel is going to be faster than Esoteric if you give them a week to cook. There's always going to be a top of the leaderboard. Doesn't matter what the gear is. But I'm kind of with Scorp, where if you're a PvE player, why am I being forced into PvP? But I get where Jolly's coming from, man. You want the good stuff, you know where it's sitting at. Train up, get it done. You run into the same thing with testing. Hey, if I got to break a game in a certain way, I kind of got to get better at that if it's not my forte. Both sides have a point. I think the issue with the elitism is when it comes into the attitude. Like Jolly brought up, the pinnacle weapons, and Scorp mentioned Mountaintop and Recluse, and I got those suckers sitting in the vault, just like everybody else here. It was a knockdown, drag out slog to get those for so many players. But you know what? Once they got it, that's all you saw in anybody's loadout. There's a reason for that. You kind of have to hurt to get the good stuff sometimes. Because I paid $30 for a season pass, or what, 60, 70 for the year-long pass, doesn't mean day one of the new season I get a new exotic. That exotic, in my opinion, should not be enough to carry you through the end game. You've got to learn the skills. And
let me ask you this: like, I feel like sometimes I feel like the elite community and just Destiny players in general put a lot on the fact of you gotta have this weapon. Where I personally, as a 10-year veteran, right, since year one, I have done perfectly fine with not having what everybody else has and everything. I don't think technically you need to go into if you don't want the weapon from PvP. Yes, Recluse and Mountaintop are definitely outliers. I will not deny that, but we haven't had that, and because they were the outliers, they kind of had to pull back. And now we have such powerful weapons that one thing, I have not felt the need to go and grab a weapon, even if it's required. I have been in a lot of lobbies where they're like, you got to do this, you got to do that. And I was like, don't worry about me, I got it. And I was doing enough damage that I was still an asset, right? So would you do you kind of feel like we do we kind of put too much bearings on that? Oh, I got to go get this?
I agree 100%, and that kind of pulls in SighDUX on this. The man mentioned, it's knowledge that's being gatekept. I've been on numerous raids and dungeons and everything you could name in this game with Scorp, where we've got guys that don't know what they're doing. That's where you need to have the knowledge base to say, okay, let's take 10 minutes. I want you to share your screen. We're going to go through your vault, and I'm going to work with you. Bring these things, and we'll fit these puzzle pieces until you can hang. Let's make it happen. It doesn't have to be this set, primary, secondary, heavy, and all your different armor perks. Sure, they help, but you can make it through the vast majority of in-game content. Maybe not going for a world's first belt, but the vast majority of in-game content with standard good gear. Not top tier, not god rolls. You can make it happen with good gear. what Scorpion's proud of his conquerors. I remember there was a Nightfall Grandmaster that we went through, him, me, and my now fiance, and we jokingly ran nothing but blue armor and blue weapons and made it happen. It comes down to that knowledge base that SighDUX was talking about. You can absolutely do it without the top tier stuff.
Let's get SighDUX in here actually. Now that because that was a great segue in general, and it's incredible that you guys did that. You did that challenge and everything. So congrats to you. Must be nice having a wife that plays the game. But SighDUX, let's go ahead and get you in here, man. Like from what you've heard, right? What are your thoughts on it?
I'll very quickly and then get into my main point. I don't think Recluse or Mountaintop's a very good benchmark because that was like 7 years ago. We haven't really had a lot of PvP weapons that people want to get besides the grenade launcher for Pantheon, and that was just 1 week because of Strand Surge, right? So like the other weeks there was Void, people were using Edge Transit or other Void grenade launchers. Now my main point to that is PvP weapons and PvE and PvE weapons and PvP have always been a thing. That's not Bungie forcing anything. That's always been like Destiny's DNA. Look at Thorn in D1. You had to do the PvP step, but you also had to do PvE. You had to move through the entire game. It wasn't optional if you wanted that reward. And there was many quests where you needed to do both. And it wasn't about being a master of both. It was about engagement. It's about player retention. It's about being a more complete Guardian. And Trials in the last 6 years has been reward participation. You don't need the Adepts to get the same DPS. You don't need perfection. You could lose and still get loot. You could get 7 wins and 70 losses, and you could still get your role. You cannot lose in a raid and get the PvE weapon. And PvP players, we've always had to go for PvE weapons, and many of them have been meta. And usually it's seasonal, but there's so many raid weapons that I can tell you that people have grinded to get for PvP specifically, and I think bridging the gap between PvE and PvP doesn't create elitism, it reduces it. Because when both sides step into each other's space, understanding grows, the walls soften. You don't need to master both, but touching both makes you better, and it keeps the community connected. Instead of a PvE versus PvP, it should be a player versus dev.
Who wants to chime in? Actually, no. Before we do that, let me read these chats and go ahead, Jolly. It's definitely on the floor. Let me catch up because I know some people are definitely itching to get their word out here. You bro. Oh, wait, I scrolled up. Jolly and I have a friend named Cam, and he's amazing and has 2 jobs. I see what they're referring to, like people's time and everything.
Yeah.
And not making excuses and not making excuses to not get them. Says versus block out part of your day if you have to, or the whole day if you must. You gotta want it. Very, very powerful statement right there. Can't wait for Bungie to hand you stuff because that's not fun at all. Elite players who both want to have the best stuff and cosmetics, but also want to have others exist. We're just a small part of the community. One of the main examples of Bungie bending towards casuals are pinnacle weapons, in my opinion. Versus, I feel like you're very strong. You feel very strong about this, and I'm wondering if anybody has anything to say towards it. But I feel like we already are kind of addressing what it is you have mentioned because you did send this a minute ago and everything. So I appreciate your patience for the reading, but I feel as though that we it's not like we disagree on this factor. I don't think we necessarily disagree on the fact of blocking out a day. There's plenty of people who are literally calling off the day of GTA 5, GTA 6, right? So we already know about the power of, hey, I'm locking in for a week and everything. I've done it myself. We all have done it and everything. But does that make you an elite when you say that? I personally don't think so, because when it comes to games, even if the game is a single player, I'm going to black out the time. Sometimes the reward is just beating the game and having fun, right? So what we're trying to find the line, we're trying to draw the line of elitism and gameplay at its core, right? But we're going to go ahead and get the floor back to Jolly and everything, because we have exactly 2 more minutes on open debate, and then we're going to move on.
Okay, I'll make it very quick so that way anyone else can touch in here. To something that Sice,
what you got to say, bro.
to what Sice said, the whole needing guns and another aspect of the game has always been there. And now I don't have any experience with D1. I watched it but I'm gonna assume what he was saying was true, and maybe someone can fact check. Was that a thing occurrent in D1, where you to get certain good PvP weapons, you had to go do the in-game PvP? Well, that had to be true, right? Because your raid weapons and things like that. I'm sure there were raid weapons back in D1 that were really good in D2. I mean,
there was for
PvP.
sure a few things that popped up in raids that were absolutely good for the PvP side. But it's also an element of good. Like, sure, OG Vex Mythoclast was a beast, but that was also raid and raid exotic. But also in the hindsight, I remember like classic year 3 Iron Banner, like the Clever Dragon, that old hand cannon that was really hard hitting but really slow. I forget its name. But there was a certain there was in every aspect some hard hitters that came from the source. Like, there was plenty of PvP guns that existed in PvE, but there was for sure plenty that already existed in very casual drop PvP stuff.
I got you. Okay, so thank you for that.
I can think of Saladin's Vigil for one that was like really common to get in PvE.
Old
that was
Radagast,
used a lot in PvP.
and of course OG Fellwinters.
So on that, this isn't really elitism, but I want that's something for everyone to think about. Why is it always the PvP players need to make the sacrifice for the PvE content, but if that role is ever reversed, all of a sudden it's not okay, right? There are PvP players that hate going to PvE, but suck it up, deal with it. But the moment that's reversed, now it's a problem. That's one thing. And the second thing is, and this is for you guys to question me on. Let's say it's the first week. We've all been there. First week of the raid. And by like day 2, even more extreme than that, by day 1, you have someone saying, must have 12 clears, know what to do. First week of the raid dropping. We've all been there.
Yeah, buddy.
But now here's my thing. This is where it gets hot a little bit. Let's say the raid's been out for 2 weeks and you've been grinding. You want these quick runs. Are you entitled to ask for a group that is trying to speed it? Like, you're not trying to go through the motions of teaching people, regardless of it only being 2 weeks or even a week. Am I entitled to a fast raid group? And if that one person comes in who saw what the post was requiring, but then we kick you because you're not, like, you pretty much did not read what the post was requiring, and now you're angry about it, even though the post clearly said what we were looking for, and you felt like you should be, like, we should have to teach you.
That's a really good question.
Is that
really good
elitism? Am I in the wrong for wanting a
Anybody
fast
chime
raid
in?
team?
Anybody chime in right now? Chime in
I
right
have
now.
I have
absolutely
an answer
kicked
for
people
that.
from the raid team that didn't read the post. If I put know what to do, it's because I got a set amount of time and I write in there, not teaching. If you show up and don't know your butt from a hole in the ground, I'm going to ask you, hey, have you done this before? Have you tried it? You don't have to have a clear to know this encounter. But if you say no, I'm like, dude, I got a list of other people to take this slot that do know what to do, man. I'm sorry. Catch me tomorrow.
Yeah, and the other person who said I got something to say, please go ahead. Yep, go ahead.
Okay, so I don't think it's elitism to kick somebody for not reading a post. I think that's probably a literacy problem. But
Sure, yeah.
know what to do, I think, makes sense on paper. People want smooth runs. They want limited friction. The problem is, nowadays, it seems that it's the default expectation everywhere, even in spaces where learning should be allowed. When every activity assumes mastery, new players never get reps, and experienced players forget they ever needed them. So I'm perfectly fine with know what to do. The problem is I rarely see teaching, and if I've joined the teaching, they usually give them 1 or 2 tries and then kick them anyways.
Yeah,
So it's almost like it's know what to do anyways.
Yeah.
So my
Yeah, that
problem
ain't
is like there isn't teaching.
And this also, I might have a little bit of elitism on that point of, like, of course, it's always good to learn. It's always good to go into something with no experience and try to learn on the fly. But I've heard too many times somebody say, I'm a visual learner. I am better at doing it. And, you know, there's no issue being fresh to a raid. But if you're going to go into LFG, looking at raids and being like, look, I'm new, there is no harm in looking up a few guides and looking up a few videos and just getting a quick peek and seeing what everything is about. If you're planning on going into Sunder Doctrine, trying to get that linear fusion for your better DPS, you better look up a guide in a few ways to get at least a little bit information about that activity, because just showing up on someone's doorstep not knowing what you're doing every single time is definitely not helping your case when you can just look up a little bit of info. You don't have to learn top to bottom from a YouTube video. Again, if you're a visual learner, that can certainly help, but you gotta know something before.
I will say this. Let me sign in here real.
Okay, we all this. I'm glad.
Yeah, let me sign into this real fast because I really want to say this. Sometimes also, when it comes to teaching, the subject of teaching and elitism, right? Sometimes teachers overteach. I have been in too many groups that I've joined in where the guy will literally explain the entire encounter. Now, we all know raids. We all know how dungeons are. You said all of that. I lost the first half because of the second half because it's such a long-winded explanation. And what tends to happen is, from what I've noticed from my experience, when it comes to elitism plus teaching, is that the guy, if you're going to teach, just give a duty. That's all you got to do. This is your task. You're gonna go over here, watch this door kill. Those were the best teachers. That's why I became so good at Destiny.
Teach the role, not the encounter.
Right. And then I will say this real fast. I will say this real fast. When the teacher did that, I started adapting that myself. I said, hey, listen, you tell me whatever to do, I got it. I'm gonna add control in this room right here, and I got to step on the plate doing that. Cool, I got it. I don't want to know anything else. I will go watch a video and figure out the rest of it. But when it comes down to it, sometimes people are too enthusiastic teaching. Go ahead, Jolly. What were you about to say?
Now, I'm gonna be honest. This is a hot take, and just playing devil's advocate. So just a second ago, we were talking about, people, even Sight said, people need to teach. No one's teaching anymore. Well, here, perfect scenario. You put yourself in a scenario where, okay, the guy is willing to teach, but you don't like the way he's explaining the mechanics. So now it's not just, oh, we got the teacher. Now we need the perfect teacher, and that wouldn't be good enough, right? And while I agree, sometimes people do explain too much, and I'm sure them being better at teaching would be a thing, but it almost is like, okay, you got what you wanted. You got the person who is willing to take time out of his day to teach you, but that is still not. Now, that's not saying for you, but for a lot of casuals who did get that experience, but the way they taught still wasn't good enough. And so it's still the player base's problem, and there's no accountability on the other end. It's not only do the veterans need to teach, they need to know how to teach us. It's their responsibility to teach us. And my last take on it is, you know why we're not seeing more people teach? You know why? Bungie themselves has removed the incentive for people to teach. Before, for the last couple years, when a new raid, new dungeon, anything came out along those lines, Bungie would reward the person for taking people through the dungeon R raids with an emblem, with an engram, with some kind of incentives for those people willing to teach, some kind of loot, some kind of in-game like mental, hey, you took 12 people through this raid. They haven't done that. They took that away in Edge of Fate. It's
absolutely. Google, let's get you in here real fast, bro. You said you had something to say, bro, because we're gonna move on to the next subject because we're starting to move towards that direction anyway. But thank goodness, right? Because it's actually moving really good. But yeah,
like 2 sentences.
I'll be honest.
Yeah, go right ahead. Yeah, go ahead, brother. Yeah, go right ahead, brother.
It was I don't know everyone's voices right now. So if I say the wrong person, it was somebody said something about it's not that hard, and I'm probably paraphrasing, to just watch a video first, right?
That was
my counterpoint is okay. My counterpoint to that, as veterans, we know who to watch. We know who gives good content. We know who's correct. If you're a new player and you just look it up, there's so many bad guides that teach you to do the encounter wrong.
That's valid.
If you don't know who to look up, if you don't know who to watch, even if you do that, you'd be like, no, I watched a video. This guy told me to do it this way, but he was wrong. You're going to be like, you're going to look at him like he's a liar, but no, he did do that. My problem with that is simply that Destiny doesn't teach you how to play this game. So it's either us as a community, we need to lift up people and tell them who to watch, what to do, etc., learn socially, or we just keep new players in the dark, and that's certainly not going to help with population.
I think you have a great point, because I think we need to go and we're going to talk about KWTD, know what to do in this next talking point, and I think we need to go deeper into that. So Google, let's go ahead and finish what you were saying, bro. Thank you for your patience, bro. I really appreciate it.
I think we're all in agreement, to be honest with you. I mean, there's a little bit of difference in how we want it done, but we all recognize, hey, there's some onus on the person looking to get into this activity. There's some on the teams that are willing to teach, to, you know, have some patience, work with a guy, you know, figure it out, if at all possible.
Yeah,
I don't know that there's much I can add at this point that somebody or all of us hasn't said.
Yeah, no, I think that that's a great time to go ahead and move on to that specific subject, where we'll dive in a little bit more deeper into how KWTD actually works and how it should probably be structured. But let's get some of these comments. Chat has been going crazy, and if you have any chat comments, please feel free to read them into it. But we have Juggernaut. I think we have. Okay. Here we go. The Mr. Meme has said, Marasov, I need me her. Yes, she's all mine, bro. I'm sorry to say that. Thank you for the follow, Alan and Garcia. I really appreciate that. Juggernaut says, I've played since second month of D1, and I do raids all the time, but I can't do any new raids because nobody will teach me, even if it's a new raid. Well, I will say this, but before I read the rest of these chats, you're more than welcome to join our Discord of my Discord, HaikuJustice Gaming. You can just let you know, everybody in the chat, you can go to my Discord through my bio. You might have to screenshot it with your iPhone and copy it from there, because TikTok does not like you leaving the app. But after the show, please feel free to join the Discord. We have plenty of Sherpas, we have plenty of raid guys and everything, because that is a good point, and we will talk about that actually as well. Just look up a guide, pick a role. Thank you for the follow, Juggernaut. Just look up a guide and pick a role. Yes, we're gonna actually talk about that specifically and know what to do. Nothing needs teaching in Destiny. Look up a guy and then go do it. Cactus, that's what POG, by the way. Thank you for joining, by the way. Thank you for your support, by the way, POG. You have more comments, so we're going to get to that. But Versus actually has another chime in. Cactus has a guide literally up to day 2 for raids. No reason why a person shouldn't know something. Well, the thing about it is, by the time you finish a Cactus video, we'll be in the next raid. POG.
His intro is still going to the last raid.
That's also assuming they know who Cactus is, right? If you're if you just started this year, you might not.
No, we're going to talk about that. No, seriously, because that's a great subject. That is something that I'm very excited to talk about, and I'm going to set the tone for that one specifically. But I do look up guys, but I'm better with experience than with just watching a guide. If you don't look something up, your fault. It's getting hot in the chat. I like it. They're sidelining. But without experience, I can't do it. You don't need experience, just do it. But that's not how my brain works. And that's a skill issue, not trying to be mean. Adapt or die rating. We definitely have some elitists in the chat, and we're going to talk about that. Actually. We're going to talk about it.
Adapt or die.
Want to see that guy's raid report?
I think Can we get a raid report in chat?
Rating is adapting. It's a brain thing. So you can't adapt. People think differently. I'm not good without experiences, even if I watch a lot of guides. Final Shape was the last good DLC, and Marasov is the hottest character in the game. Hey, yo, listen, shout out to you, bro. Thank you for your comment and everything. I don't think that the argument is valid because of Rick Cactus. I understand that. I can understand that. If people don't know who to look for, then that's true. How could you not tell by the view? How can you not tell by the views and the likes of the video? Like, we're going to talk about all of that. I don't know. Some people just look for a guide and use the first one they see. And if it isn't that, then they won't see it. Juggernaut, that's for the follow. And if you look up a guide, you will pick Cactus. Oh my goodness. So let me go ahead and set the pace, and then trust me, I'm gonna give the floor. We're gonna do it, and then open the debate again for another 5 to 8 minutes. But I'm gonna say this: when it comes to know what to do, KWTD, I will say this. I think it has a bad reputation because it's misunderstood, and I think it's also being misused. The problem with KWTD is that when people look at that, they get anxiety, especially new players. Shout out to you, SighDUX, because I understand where you're coming from with that. And Google, you also make some valid points about like, hey, listen, we all kind of understand this from a standpoint. Jolly, you're on the front of like, hey, like, how are we supposed to do that, Scorp? You know, like, this is too difficult. The problem is that what we don't have guides for specifically is these terminologies. We don't have anybody setting the precedents, and we certainly don't have Bungie actually addressing that problem. Now, Bungie does address toxicity, and they try and do it. And I would say Bungie is very guilty of toxic positivity when it comes to readdressing. But then when they address real, we send in death threats to people's homes. So you see how it's kind of a guilty on both sides, right? Two wrongs don't make a right, but at the same time, sometimes we have to look left. So when it comes to know what to do, people are not using it correctly, and people are not reading it correctly. When I see know what to do, I know what it means. Is don't come here wasting time, and be prepared to do what is necessary. Maybe I didn't look up a video. It's very rare that I don't look up a video. But when it comes to the talking point specifically of, hey, why aren't you watching a video? The problem is that when you type in Destiny 2, the algorithm is against you. Remember, the algorithm is against you until it learns you. It's going to give you the safest answer. It's going to give you the safest results. It's going to give you the most popular. And like, I think it was PLG stated, maybe, forgive me if that wasn't you who said that. It probably was Versus and everything, because he's the one that's the real elitist in the chat and everything. The thing about it is that just because people have views doesn't mean that they found the right video. I have actually come across plenty of videos specifically where I was looking for something, and the guy didn't even say what the solution was. I went to the comments, and he actually gave the actual answer in the comments. And I even replied to him. I was like, hey, bro, why didn't you say that in the video? And a lot of people liked that comment. So there's a huge disconnect between the reality of a new life's experience and the elites. Because see, the elites, we are addicts. Hey, I don't really consider myself an elite, but I do consider myself an addict, right? But nonetheless, all of us who are experienced in Destiny, we are all addicts. All of us. So when we go searching, when I decided to dedicate myself, sorry to be so exaggerating and over dramatic with it, but when I decided to dedicate myself to getting good, no pun intended, to Destiny, it took me a while to find videos that I liked. And for some reason, I ended up on the UK side. For the longest, I didn't know that there were American content creators. I am dead ass when I say that. I did not know that there were American content creators who would give you guides. So I ended up on the Dado side. Well, not Dado, he's American. I ended up on the My Name is Bife. I ended up on a lot of the English side of it and everything, except for Astacross. Astacross was one of the main ones who really helped me through and everything, but he ended up getting demonized. And so a lot of time when new players and new lights get into these parties and they say, hey, I watched the video, well, the elites kick in and say, well, what video did you watch? And then there's like, oh, I watched Astacross. Well, Astacross doesn't know what you're talking about. Go watch this cheese video and everything. Guy, some people who are too new, and even the veterans, myself, don't like cheeses and everything, so they're not going to learn that. But then on the other side, the elites have every right to say, hey, listen, I need somebody who knows what to do because I have a set time. I'm doing this with this person. I'm doing this with this person. The only reason why I'm even in this LFG right now is because a person who we originally planned on doing this with had an emergency or whatever. So we need to start understanding it from both ends of the spectrum at the end of the day, right? Because everybody's making a great point in the chat and also on the panel. And I'm going to actually open the floor. The first person who's going to get, I'm going to change it from a minute to like 3 minutes because I see that everybody's actually getting out their points within 3 minutes. So don't feel too much anxiety. You guys are actually doing great, by the way. But we're going to open up the floor to SighDUX and everything because I feel like SighDUX, he actually has a really great take on the situation when he says, people don't know this, right? Like I'm just simplifying it, right? They don't know this, right? And the teaching isn't doing very well. So go ahead. We're going to give you the floor, bro. You have 3 minutes, but you actually really have plenty of time because everybody's doing a great job. Real fast. The chat really went crazy real fast. So I'm going to read that, and then the floor is going to you. My apologies. He's in front of the page most of every time. Okay. Oh, if you look up a guide, he will pick Cactus if he's in front of the page most every time, or Fallout plays. That's a valid point. Shout out to Fallout. I love Fallout. He's one of my favorite American ones. Exactly. Those guys, especially Fallout, are simple and to understand until people don't know that those are the ones that are simple to understand. But I'm not arguing against you. I'm just saying that's kind of the reality of it. I looked up Fallout play specifically for the mechanics of Corregos. I don't know about y'all, but I just be rerunning D1 for fun. Shout out to the D1 dedicated players. You guys are vets, bro. I really respect that. Versus says, learned it within a few minutes. KWTD is used now as no one in the team will teach you, but don't waste time. Adapt or get the boot. That is kind of what I was referring to as well. New awoken queen image. Yes, indeed. Drip or drown. So, SighDUX, the floor is all yours, brother.
Okay, so 2 things I wanted to mention is I really like that you said some people say Astacross doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't necessarily believe that. That's not my point. But my point is you'll say you watch this, people say don't watch that. Now, I'll give you the example for PvP, because most of my stuff is PvP. Although I have, God Slayer, I've solo flawless most dungeons, I'm not inexperienced. PvP, if you watch a weapon review video by CK, I love CK, but he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about most of the time. He's like, I don't know what this exotic does. I don't know what the perk does. I'm just going to use it for 2 games and call it good. And people click on it because they love him and he's good at the game. But you don't learn anything from those videos. Now, if you click on that same weapon by Cami Cakes, you learn its meters, its damage to the decimal. You learn every perk interaction that it has. So, just saying go by the views, I don't think that really makes the most sense, because most of the time, the ones that get the most views are for the most casual people, and you're not really going to get the most information from it. As far as know what to do, that's assuming they even know what the acronym means, because we have a lot of acronyms that are just in Destiny.
Very true.
When every LFG post, like LFG looking for group, assumes mastery, then every activity is treated like a speed run. The game slowly stops being a place to learn and it starts being a place to prove. Those are very 2 different environments. New players don't just magically know what to do. They need reps. They need awkward ones. They need wipes. They need someone to say, here, okay, this is what happens here. They need space to mess up without feeling like they've committed a crime. When know what to do becomes the default everywhere, those reps disappear, and without reps, confidence never forms. Veteran players forget they were once the reason their team wiped. They forgot the first time they didn't know symbols. They forgot the time they missed a call out. They forgot the awkward silence after someone asked, who's on Relic? Did you drop did you drop Relic? You can't drop Relic during VOG. Mastery feels natural after you've earned it by playing the game for 10 years. But at one point, you were the friction. You were the reason people wiped. You were the reason that it took an extra hour. If learning spaces disappear, the pipeline disappears. And when the pipeline disappears, player retention drops and the population drops. The game feels hostile, the community shrinks. Know what to do is healthy when it's 1 lane. It's unhealthy when it's the whole highway.
That was honestly, that was incredible. You made some very valid points, and that's actually why I wanted to start off with you, because see, the reason why we do debate Destiny and everything is simply because we're not here to debate to be right. We're here to debate to get answers and perspective, right? So when you brought your points, I feel as though you are speaking for a huge section. So please do me a favor, if you guys are enjoying the show and if you're enjoying the live, please give me some more likes and everything so we can get the show out to more people. I really appreciate your support. So that way we can keep getting these words out to people, right? So we can speak. That's why I read the chat, because see, here's the thing. Sometimes we just don't know. And I've seen that in Destiny for quite some time. And that actually gives me a great segue to our next new guest and everything, Google, because see, Google, he's internal, right? He's an internal. He's in there. Thank you for the follow, Viggy. I really appreciate that, and thank you for the likes. He's internal to it, so he's going to look at it from, well, a mechanical side of it and everything. But when it comes down to it, when you hear KWTD and go watch videos and stuff like that, what is the first thing that comes to your mind, bro?
For me, it is a bit of a barrier to entry. If you're reading the post and you know what to do, and you understand the acronym, let's just assume that, it's kind of an agreement. You're going to show up knowing at least something. I'm not going to require 10 clears for a 2-week-old raid or anything like that. However, we all got to know what to do through one of 2 routes. I'm pretty sure almost everybody here has been in, competition mode raids. I know I'm not the only person here who's gone for raid belts. With that being said, there is very little, if anything, stopping this community of new lights or kindergartens or whatever you want to call them from figuring it out the same way all of us did. When I'm going for world belts, I have a couple of streams going, and I am ramming my head against a wall figuring out the mechanics with everybody else. Oh, shit. This guy got a little further. What do you do? Hang on, back up his stream, figure it out. If you're in the lead or you're tied for the lead, you're sitting there trying to figure it out on your own. The videos, I agree, they only help so much. And I'm one of those guys, I learn a whole lot better doing it than watching a video. And that's one of my main complaints with Cactus. He'll tell you everything, but he only shows you one thing. And that's mainly what his footage shows. If he's talking about somebody else doing symbols in Root, and you're not seeing those symbols other than an infographic for half a second, man's intro is 5 minutes long, but the important stuff, hang on now. You're not going to get the information you need. So you've got one of 2 avenues. One, find a veteran crew or Discord like yours, H, and get those reps that SighDUX is talking about, or find a group of folks just like you that are tired of it and willing to give it a go and figure it out. I don't think there's a barrier into the end game aside from the grind to gear. And we all know the memes. Man, the server's down. I got 14 kids and 3 jobs and 0.2 seconds to play the game and the server's down. We've all seen it. We've all seen it. And I love those as much as anybody. But like Jolly said, you've got to want it. And if you can't find the people to teach you, you've got to figure it out. Find a crew. There's no shortage. You can find 5 other people to learn a raid that have never done it. Even when there's a shortage of good guides. There's a bit of onus on the people coming into the raids to do a bit of the work, to do a bit of the grind, to learn a few things. As they run into more veteran players, we'll tune you up. We'll teach you some stuff. But if you're coming in expecting us to hand it to you or carry for you, and I've done professional carries before it was against terms of service. I did paid carries. If you're expecting that, it'll at least make it clear. Be straight with the people you're trying to join.
Yeah, and I see that's the beautiful part about that side of it in general, because see here's the thing. When it comes to even someone like Google, he understands that there is a dichotomy between the problem and really like everything that we like, the elites and the new lights and everything, right? But I think we have a huge problem specifically that people don't know what Google knows. And I don't mean like his internal knowledge. I just mean that his understanding of the game. Elites as well, right? Because sometimes we meet, sometimes you get in a group with what I like to call the well actuallys, right? The guys who are like, well, actually, and what tends to happen is that Destiny is their life. That's no shade. Yeah, you might want to go touch some grass, but we don't know if he touches grass and plays Destiny for like his life, right? Because I have a lot of outside hobbies, but I also cannot get away from Destiny. So to judge a book by its cover is unfair in that factor, but we also have to start looking at the game as in like, you know what? I think that there's something that needs to be addressed. I do have an idea, which is maybe we should start doing guides that are not about even the content in the game, but about the community itself. That's might be something that we're missing, but we're gonna move on to the next panel as soon as I read these chats. And the person that we're gonna give the floor to next, so they're prepared for their statement, is gonna be Matt Scorpion, and then right after that, we're gonna go for UncleJolly. And then after that, it's open debate, just to let everybody know and everything. But let me read these comments, and I appreciate all the likes. I really do appreciate that. The PLG says, Lego the Flash is my main PvP homie. Shout out to Lego the Flash. Really appreciate that comment. He also says, that's why there is running while teaching LFG groups now. Now, I did read that earlier, and I was curious when you say that, and let me know in the chat if you're still here. Do you mean like there's dedicated groups that you can go and look up, like on Reddit or Discord, something like that, or even Google search, where they're just teaching while running? Let me know in the chat what you know, and then we'll get it from the rest of the panel and everything. But once again, Viggy, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate that support. I think the Dungeon Pantheon training was absolutely perfect. We need it for raids. No loot provided. The PLG says that's actually a very valid point. Your reward is learning the raid so you can go LFG. Yes, I do agree with that. The fair but day one guides are not for casuals. It's just for content creators posting their progress. I do agree with that. Baby Beast, man, you have a good rest of your night, bro. Get some rest. Thank you for always supporting as we usually do and everything. And you're still here. Okay, cool. Yeah, let me know. Like, are you talking about a group where like you can actually go and do it? No, Destiny 2 LFG. There are people who just teach. I see what you're saying. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Hey, J Penumbrum, what's good, bro? Thank you for joining in live, bro. That was one of our guests that joined us. What was the subject on that one again?
I think that was Let's Revive Destiny. I think it was, or what?
Oh, Let's Fix Destiny. Yeah. He got heated on that one. But thank you for joining and everything. But we're gonna go ahead and give the floor, so we can keep it going and everything, to Matt Scorpion. I'm definitely interested. So when it comes to KWTD, the elites, and the news, well, from what you've heard so far, what are your thoughts with that state of mind? Right, with between both of the parties, right? The dichotomy between the two of them.
So I kind of see the know what to do as a side effect of like a Destiny version of that old like human development, the nature versus nurture, where it's like there's who you are and then there's who raised you. Because to give an idea of what I mean, when Vault of Glass first got reprised into Destiny 2, me, Google, and a few others, we of course ran it blind. We found out everything to ourselves. We developed our own plans, and by the end of the day, what we had started with for like the Atheon, you know, the back left, the back right, the call out for oracles during Atheon, we initially didn't do that. What we did was the clock method, where you stand right under the oracles and you look one certain direction, and then you orient yourself like a clock. And because everyone can read a clock, you know where 12 is, and from there you know 2, you know 4, you know 6. And that was good for us. And in perspective, it was good because then there wasn't any sort of loadout issue. If your primary was an SMG, you could use an SMG because it was short range, which became an issue once people started mainlining the sitting all the way in the back and then using left, right, and middle, back, front, and left. Because then if you didn't have a scout or if you didn't have a pulse, then it was going to be kind of hard to hit those oracles, even if you didn't have a sniper or something like that. And sure enough, when I looked up what people were teaching, the only one who shared my perspective of using the clock was Datto. Almost everyone else suggested back, left, right, front, middle. And it's that idea of what is the main line and what is the way you developed that worked for you, that kind of creates a friction in the know what to do. And because of that again, it's like you guys were talking about, who is the one to watch, who has the actual right methods, that becomes that weird who actually has the good strat. Because there has been some people that I have ran LFGs that they suggested a strategy that was like, who are you, from a different planet? Like, it was just completely weird.
Right. Yeah.
And to an extent, I feel like just because you mentioned solo dungeons and Rite of the Nine, I feel like Bungie has an issue where too many endgame things don't have, like they mentioned, a practice mode or a element of entry for those sort of things. I never understood why Ride of the Nine had a solo dungeon mode with tips, with guides, with tool tips to say, this is a problem, this is a objective mechanic, this is related to what you need, this is something you need to pay attention to. I don't understand why Bungie made that a limited time mode. It never made sense to me for that barrier of entry, the know what to do, that idea of getting a leg up, why that tutorial mode for dungeons and raids, why that never persisted past the 6 weeks or the 9 weeks that Ride of the Nine was around. I feel like that's that idea of a tutorial mode dungeon or tutorial mode raid for just as an idea, a match made 2 to 3 as opposed to a group of 6 could have worked out so much better for a step into the world for when you get into the LFG 6 person.
Okay. Yeah, I could definitely understand. There's a lot of things that Bungie could actually be doing to actually nurture, like the progress of it. The problem is that I kind of blame the community, because when we get upset, and I will not let this go, when we get upset at things like Tonic Gate and Perk Gate, well, then now Bungie has to allocate resources to that. Now, mind you, they do have a bad reputation of allocating resources, as we already have seen for decades. No point in beating a dead horse to fucking death. But it's just things like that that don't help that situation either. I don't care about Tonic Gate. As a matter of fact, Fallen are my least favorite enemy class in the game, and now allies as well, but they're cooler as allies than they are as enemies. But when we have problems like that, it definitely kind of takes resources from them implementing things that could make the game a lot better. Let's just read some of these comments, and then we're going to go to UncleJolly, the man of the hour, once again. Where we at? As an advocate of Destiny community, we don't know how to read a clock. I'm telling you right now, that thing was a pain in the ass. But once you kind of because you kind of adjusted it, that became me and my brother's favorite activity, which is what was it? Was it Destiny or something like that? What was it called?
Dual Destiny.
Dual Destiny. Thank you. Yeah, that was one of our favorite ones. Great two man activity. Yeah. Final Shape Duo.
Oh, H, you cut out a bit.
And we lost the host.
No, this happens at least once or twice a night.
Yeah.
Okay, no worries.
Everyone had some great points.
It's a lot of fun. Never done anything like this before.
Told you would like it. All right, Haiku, I'm gonna need you to come back.
H,
now.
you coming back, man? Are we just telling dad jokes till the host gets back?
All I'm thinking about is ramen noodles right now and how bad I want to eat. Chicken though, not the beef. I wish I had beef.
Oh, hang on.
I don't have any hot sauce either.
Hey, I hear him.
Oh, there he is.
Okay, am I back now?
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Okay, so guys, let me explain this real fast. I think TikTok still is hearing me. I'm not sure, but Discord wants me to buy Nitro, so they keep limiting my bandwidth specifically. That's why it's always me. So please forgive me. Yeah. But am I good though? Am I back?
Yeah, we hear you, bud. We hear you again.
Okay, I know, right? I've been here long. Thank you. I appreciate Discord. I guess they realized I need a buffer. But back to what I was saying originally, when they did the clock and everything, that was pretty cool. But that's another thing that was pretty freaking difficult and stuff. Let me go back to the chat because we'll move on. It's not about me right now. Right at the 9 was perfect. Yes, it was. I do love that and everything. Juggernaut agrees.
Pantheon was better.
Juggernaut. They said they said they can hear me. You know what's crazy? I'm gonna say something. Please don't hate me before I finish the chat. I didn't do Pantheon at all. Unfortunately, I missed out on it. It was a hard time for me. Envy of Nyx. We have a new person that just joined in. 48 portal missions that have 0 loot. I'm very indifferent about the portal. Can't even farm old armors. The PLG says a thing that bugs me is when an elite is telling a player how to be better and get told to shut the fuck up. I appreciate y'all letting me know that y'all can hear me. I really appreciate that. I figure it's Discord. Unfortunately, my panel has to be suffering for that for some reason, or refuse to can learn. This is very true. I just matched Gary in a comp. I don't know who Gary is, but I'm sorry for your pain. It sounds like. But let's go ahead and keep it going because right after Jolly, we're gonna do open debate on this subject, and then we have basically one more subject. If people have time, it really just depends on how ready time is. But Jolly, now that you've heard everybody's opinion when it comes to KWTD, we have some valid opinions coming from SighDUX. We have some really valid points coming from Google as well. Thank you so much for giving the internal side of it, right? But now that you hear so many different sides of it, like what are your personal feelings about KWTD? And maybe you could offer some type of things that could probably potentially fix it at the same time from what you've heard so far.
I'm gonna come off like this. For me, is very black and white. I don't think there is a fix to it. It's really controlled by like human base, right? And I'm of the opinion if you stuck 10 people in the same room and you left them there for however long, they'll never come to an agreement. That's actually that's just my worldview, is that everyone's indifferent. Everyone's got personal experience. And it leads me into the whole know what to do. It's widely inconsistent, right? I every year I change my opinion on know what to do because I've been in some know what to do's that the raid's done in an hour, and I've been in some know what to do's and then no one knew what to do. Those are always my favorite, and it's dead silent and you're waiting for someone to calm and no one's calming. And I think, and I don't mean this in a mean way to anyone who's given a take, but all these takes all sound like clearly everyone here has had experience. These are at different times. The Destiny that it seems like you guys are like referring to is not a Destiny that like exists any longer, right? Like, and I kept looping like every suggestion. I was like, man, this would be great if this would be great if. Currently, the player base is your coworker that never gets a day off, who works 100 hours between 2 weeks or a week, does all the overtime, and then they're exhausted. They never get a day off. And that's how the player base is right now. Why you don't see teaching done is because the player base is exhausted. Not only exhausted, any gateway entry into learning has been demoralized by Bungie. Desert Perpetual is a horrible let's learn raid, right? Horrible, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you cannot convince the people with knowledge to go back and do VOG. I'm not saying it's impossible, but they're not really going to do it. And they're definitely not going to do it unless it's on Master. And does a new player need to be doing Master VOG? No. But when you ruin the whole reason on doing it, all the arguments become, it just becomes because the only know what to do's are going to be like, again, it loops back around to the morality of the player base. That's why you can't fix it. The player base isn't happy with the game. They don't any activity that could have enjoyment, they're not there for the enjoyment. They want the loot. They want to be done because they're not even happy with the game, which means they're not going to be willing to teach people because they don't care. That's what it boils down to. There's no entry into learning because there's no reason to go back and do VOG unless you're like me and I went to do Crota and I did 40 runs of bridge encounter because I really want Thing of Yore. But like I'm a 1%, right? Like I'm a 1%. I like get weapons regardless of perk entry because it looks cool in an image. It looks good in my hands. But that's not a lot of Destiny players. They're not just getting the weapon because it looks cool, right? Especially the player base now. So yes, a lot of the suggestions that were made here would be amazing if anyone cared. The lack of care for the game is the reason why they won't work. I mean, I don't mean to sound super negative, doom and gloom, but I mean, the reality is Bungie ruined the whole incentive for people to grind. So you're not going to get those people to teach. And know what to do is inconsistent because you would think know what to do means go in there, get it done. But it's like you'll get that sometimes and you'll get that other times. And what a lot of it, and I'm trying not to drag this out, but it's kind of the problem with me going last because I take everyone's information and try to formulate like a concrete opinion. The other thing is, it's like, to know what to do. Like the way the LFG system works now isn't really beneficial, because back in the day you could be more particular about exactly what you were looking for, but now you have to like pick like vague, just like multiple choice instead of being able to write out what you're looking for, at least using the in-game Fire Team Finder.
Right, right.
And then this last thing that I was gonna say is, like, you got a lot of like guys who've got PTSD when it comes to the LFG, right? Like you have guys, like you were saying, like, who went into maybe a raid group they weren't supposed to be in, and they got yelled at, or they did something wrong. And now when they go in, they just hope they can join and know what to do without saying anything, and no one will notice that they didn't know what they were doing, right? Like, everyone's gotten that person, or the person who goes into a raid group and they won't say anything, even if you give them the opportunity. Like, look, bro, if you don't know what to do, just say it. They still will not admit that they don't know what to do because the last 5 teams yelled at them, right?
Yes.
But the last 5 teams are entitled because they probably got a bunch of people who didn't know what to do, and their post said know what to do, and now they're frustrated that people keep lying. So who is at the wrong here?
And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say this. The fact of the matter is, when you said, hey, I don't want to necessarily seem like I'm being negative, right? That's the beautiful part about there is no toxic positivity allowed on the panel or even in the chat and everything. You are allowed to say what you're saying, not because we want to give you the room to vent or express yourself, but solely so that way that there are opinions out there that are being available for Bungie to listen to. Because as you said, the only way any type of change is going to happen is if people actually care. And when it comes to people being yelled at in a KWTD lobby and everything, and then they're being silent, you got to understand something. You didn't grow up in the Call of Duty lobbies, right? You weren't born in darkness. So unfortunately, that is the reality of it. Okay. But seriously though, like, it's a sad problem that we might have to start figuring out. I do want to advocate for, we start doing videos that just more nurture a player's navigation of the community, because we have too many elites who are kind of blocking the growth of Destiny. Oh, I don't like Gambit. There's people that play Gambit all the time. Oh, well, Reckoning is too hard. Well, dude, like, that's the whole point of Reckoning, is so that way you can get the best loot for Gambit. Oh, raids, we need to take out PvP because I'd rather it just be a PvE games. Well, now you're just alienating almost maybe a third of the population. So this is why we have to kind of address this in the best way we can. I'm going to actually read some of these comments, and then we're going to do open debate. We're going to do open debate, and we're probably going to actually talk about something that I'm very much looking forward to in the next subject and everything. But let's read these comments. Let's get these comments. And then once again, I gotta appreciate everybody that's showing love. Decent PvP player, Ed Juggernaut, not Gaping Gary. My goodness gracious, bro. Gaping Gary is a diabolical. Nothing feels better than a no-com run. Everyone knows what's going on. Straight flow state. Oh my goodness. Cannot agree any more than what you have just said. I absolutely totally agree. Crafting. Oh no, don't do this to me. Oh goodness. Crafting was a horrible system, but it was wonderful incentive for someone to play. Oh, I'll accept it. Thank you so much. Because I love crafting, in case you didn't know.
I prefer crafting over tiers.
Woo! Shout out to you, brother. You get an explosion. Hold on. I know you guys can't hear my soundboard, but I got to figure that out. Let's keep it going. Nothing to chase. Tier 5 for free. Actually cringe. And they ruined all of our old loot. I disagree. I still use my old loot. Psycho Pomp will be pulled out at some point. Just don't use it in the high end stuff where it actually matters. Or maybe you do. You don't know. Like, you just make a build wrapped around it and everything. It's not ruined. Just tier 3 Rose and Inquisitor Fox. They need to make Weapon Shredder that lets you convert existing loot into tier 5s with random rolls. I mean, the Gunsmith would be a great great thing to use for that. Actually, great point. You get an explosion, brother. The PLG says Shadow and Order is giving us the ability to upgrade. Oh, a little bit of spoilers there. I hope that's true. That sounds pretty cool. The tier specifically, he says, it better. Envoy of Nick says, Gambit Prime was goated. Another explosion for you, PLG. I really appreciate you, bro, because you are on a roll, bro. Thank you so much. Everyone could have played a role they wanted to. That is so true. Oh my God, I beat Gary. Hey, another explosion for you, bro. That's absolutely. So now we're doing open debate, which is going to sort of go over. We got 5 to 8 minutes, give or take, and we're gonna just talk about it. It sounded like Google said he's ready. Is that what you said? That
was
that
me.
you? Okay, so you're going to go ahead and set the pace, and please be prepared for anybody to rebuttal or give their hot takes or say you're completely wrong. This is where things can get hot, just in case you guys didn't know and everything. And also, if you guys are enjoying the show, thank you so much for 1.2K likes. Please give me some more likes. Thank you for all the follows. We are getting things cooking right now. I just hit 1,100 followers. Thank you so much for all the support. And if you're liking the show, please give me some more likes. And shout out to everybody in the panel. But yes, Google, go ahead, bro. Do you remember what you were feeling revved up to?
To clarify,
I do, but it was somebody else.
Ready.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
SighDUX.
SighDUX is ready. Don't worry, I got something too. SighDUX goes first. I went first last time. My liege,
Okay,
you're up.
go ahead, jump in. It's open debate. Let the
Okay.
battle begin.
So, just to clarify, know what to do makes sense. Wanting smooth runs makes sense. Limited time, limited friction. I get it. But when just figured out becomes the culture, we lose perspective. People saying that usually have years of experience they don't even think about anymore. I'm going to bring this to Crucible because this is what I know, it's what I teach. Radar awareness, crosshair placement, when to disengage, how to read a lane. That stuff feels automatic to them now. Imagine it's your first shooter. I coach people every week who are playing their first FPS ever. Not their first season, not their first expansion, their first shooter. They're not behind because they're lazy, they're behind because they're building foundations from scratch. You can't compress 5 years of reps into one frustrated comment telling someone to either know what to do, buckle down, figure it out. And on a bigger scale, I don't buy into all the doom and gloom either. On a macro level, sure, a lot of veterans are unhappy. Burnout is real. Being jaded after years is real. But the newer players, they're not jaded. They're hungry. They're excited. They want to learn. They want to improve. They light up when something finally clicks. And I know this because I have new people join my community every day wanting to learn PvP. That passion is why I do this. Not to argue about retention numbers, not to complain about the state of the game, but to build players, to give structure, to create space when learning is allowed. Because we only listen to the loudest, most burned out voices. We miss the quiet ones who are just getting started. And those players, they're the future of the game. I'd rather build them than complain about what the game used to be, because the game isn't the same. Even 3 years ago, it was a completely different game.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we just acknowledge how well SighDUX is at saying, like, just the way he just formulates sentences? I don't mean to glaze, but holy, like, I can appreciate.
Bro, I'll give him an explosion for that. That was a YouTube video that we all should be like subscribing for, you know?
I appreciate it.
But yeah, so I totally agree. I think the problem is that there are people that do understand it and there are people who don't. Google, like, bro, like, come on, man, jump in here, brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want that.
So I wanna throw a little bit to Jolly. I think he's dead on with one thing, probably more than one thing, but specifically something he said on his last spot. Bungie took away the incentive. Most of us here probably have at least one emblem about Sherpa 10 people through the raid. I know I got a few. I know Scorp's got a few. I know you guys play. Come on.
Wait a second, hold on. I didn't get the memo.
Things. You what?
I didn't get the memo. I didn't know about this. This is
To clarify, they did
I'll show you.
Too, by the way.
Yes.
Styles used to have you have to carry people to guild your title. They removed that like 5 seasons ago.
When Bungie removed these things, you lost the incentive to go and do stuff. You want a real easy way to get some of the more elitist people or the less elitist people that are really hard about the weapons you use and the tactics you use to come back and teach some of the new guys. Bring back the incentive. Yeah, it's just an emblem. But man, y'all talked about it Sunday. There are people that sell these things. They'll sell accounts for an emblem. It will bring some people back.
Absolutely, Google.
I did 7 hours for the the Dark Age challenge on Monday.
Yeah, exactly. See,
but Google is absolutely right in his idea of give an incentive of any degree, and will bring some of the scummiest teachers. Because I know somebody we've mentioned before, a real elitist speedrunner type person. He wasn't the biggest fan of bringing new people through raids, but the moment he heard it was the first ever when it was a just released raid, he's like, oh, I can get emblem progress. Oh, I'm all over this. It was a really weird, like, sudden drug addiction that popped out of people. Like, ooh, new person, I can Sherpa. Ooh.
Well, dude would have that emblem before contest mode was over.
Right, and to like what Google was saying, like, despite if it's for the wrong reasons, like, clearly he's not doing it because he loves teaching people, right?
No,
but
not this one.
On the opposite end, but the plus is there are people who got to experience, regardless of how that went, they got to experience and do raids. Now you can't deny that there's probably a person who's like did do the Sherpa and didn't realize they would enjoy Sherpa, and now that's something that they live for in the game, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, so there's also that possibility, and it doesn't even have to be an emblem. Literally, when we had the number of carries, like when you would do trials carry to what Sai was talking about, regardless of the emblem, that number going from 1 to 2 is a like instant adrenaline rush. I know people who didn't care about trials, but that number going up or seeing how many flawlesses they could get in a single weekend meant everything to them. So it's like, it can be something as small as just having a count, like, like a number go up, right? Like, Destiny is very members only, like, look at me, look at it's very show and tell.
It is, but we all know the end game is actually our fashion and our cosmetics. So it's been an accepted rule for like almost year 1 of D2.
Yeah,
true.
There's a problem in the teaching community that I think you might be missing. And it might come down to experience, it might not. So forgive me if I'm overstepping a little bit. I've been a part of numerous teaching communities throughout the life of this franchise. When it was Discord, when it was Kick, when it was in-game LFG, all that stuff. You'll get this group of people. You filter in a couple new people every week or every day, depending on when Destiny's going through its heyday. And everything's all fine, well, and good. You get 3 weeks, month, maybe 2, and everybody's pretty stagnant. They're learning the stuff. They know the mechanics. They're doing this, that, and the next thing. And then the egos come in, and it starts infighting. And that drives, in my experience, a lot more people out of playing, out of being willing to teach for months, if not years at a time, or putting down the game entirely. Because, like Jolly said, you got people, they go through on their first teaching run, they may not know what they're doing, but they know well enough they can teach somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, and they fall in love with it. Like that drug, ooh, number go up, bigger number, gotta show it, gotta have it. And it just drills that love for spreading the knowledge that SighDUX mentioned we need to do straight out of those people. It doesn't matter if you're new, if you're experienced, anything like that. You can sit back in a teaching Discord, not say anything, and watch it happen. Mark my words. Spend 3 weeks in a new teaching Discord that you don't run, that you don't have admin of, that you're not a big name there, and you will watch it. You will see people get drilled out because they said the wrong thing, or, well, I didn't like your tone, or any number of reasons. It absolutely destroys teaching groups in record time.
Yeah, I'm going to push back against SighDUX with something specifically, actually, just because you brought that up. Just to point out this, right? Because although you are making absolute great clears, points and everything, right, that are very clear and cut, here's the thing. Sometimes you get people who need to learn it, and you get the worst people. You get the, hold on, I gotta hit this bong real fast. And I used to smoke weed, so there's no shade towards that.
I gotta
you get the person who's like, no mic. It's like, bro, it said mic required.
Right. You got to come semi-prepared.
Oh yeah, I've had somebody that brought their friend with no mic that said, "Oh, don't worry, they know how to type in chat." No, they don't.
On the read chat. You understand that?
On console, when we played on console, they said they could text and chat.
That's no, absolutely not. But
You
I
may
will-
be able
I'm
to
gonna
text,
say
but
this.
can we read?
I also say this. Sometimes you also get those players who are just too goofy. I remember one time I was in a raid with somebody who wasn't necessarily a Destiny player, and I won't say he's a new light, but he definitely played Destiny. Straight up, the count was 1, 2, 3, 4, and I could not. I promise you, for the life of me, I could not tell. But we would go 1, 2, and he would say 4, and we were like, "Well, where was 3?" He was 3 saying 4. I promise you, a lot of times in the gamer's mind, sometimes the gamers, and these people might be excluded. We're talking about the ones who deserve the help. I do get that. But all too often, those players actually ruin the experience for the new lights by being this guy who's like, I don't take the game serious. Hey, I get it. It's just a video game. But I ain't trying to be in here for another 4 hours, bro. And then they're like, well, you're taking the game too serious. So I don't
I have a
care.
response to that pushback.
You run into that a lot in VOG. You know, you got these oracles that are assigned to people. If I yell out Scorp's number, like I got it, and I'm screwing up, but actually shooting mine, Scorp's gonna trust his teammates. Say, "Oh shit, he shot mine. I got to look for his." And then you got Scorp's number going unshot, and then it's a wipe just because somebody wanted to be goofy. Mistakes happen, but if you're doing it just to screw around, buddy, come on, not when we're teaching
And
people.
there's
Let's
the
go ahead, bro.
there
Hold on,
is
let's,
oh
So I do have a pushback.
Yeah,
I do
I
have
wanna
a
hear
response to
SighDUX.
the
Yeah, real
pushback because
fast. Yeah.
it was a pushback against what I said. So I agree with you. And I have been doing I call it my program for 4 years. We've had people coming as long as a year consistently, every week. And what you touched on is the other responsibility of the student. A good teacher requires a good student. So it is should be our responsibility to give information. It is my responsibility to give you, like, that's just me personally. I'm saying my responsibility, not saying generally or your guys's, but I view it as my responsibility to give you an environment to fail in, an environment to learn in. But if you're not coming to learn, not only are you hurting the mentors' times, the mentees' times, the other people there, it's a disrespect to yourself. And people like that, as somebody that's teaching or you're fostering a group like that, you should very much either restrict them from coming, talk to them in PMs and say, hey, when you do this, this affects them. And if they don't care, then they're no longer eligible to be part of being taught. That's the way I look at it, is if you are, I'm going to teach you, but if you're going to be disruptive, just like in school, I'm going to send you out of class.
you know and oh sorry, were you still going?
You just got me, bro. You just got me. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah.
There was one more thing that you said, not you. It was
the Google.
Yeah, Google said something. I forgot.
If it was me, blame me. I do the bad stuff.
Yeah, I forgot the no. I think I'll just leave it at that since I forgot the no. I'm sure I had something. I'm sure if you bring it up.
What you did though, you convinced me otherwise, right? Because the truth is, I do understand that. And I had to call it out simply because, like, bro, if I don't call it out, there's gonna be people who are like, man, some people just ruin it. But at this point, bro, you definitely deserve an explosion because you just dropped the mic on that right there. And I cannot deny, like, the thing about it is that there are just people that ruin the game, and you have to address it, whether they're willing to work with it or not. And then there's also people who totally deserve all that help. They absolutely deserve that help.
I was going to say to Google.
Go ahead. What was you going to say? Yeah,
I
please.
appreciate what you're going to say. So yeah, you talked about competition. So with my mentors, since PvP, we all have a similar skill check, as in we're all around the same skill level. And we internally have like the level or skill levels of the mentees, because if I start putting a value, a KD, a rank, competition will happen. And it's not about learning. It's about, oh, I'm better than you. Same thing for mentors. They have to have the right mindset. They have the right goal. They have the right skill. Because if I let somebody in for PvP specifically, and you just can't handle your own, because how we do PvP is it's private matches, and it's 3v3. You have a mentor on your team, a mentor on the enemy team. Every 2 matches they swap, so you get to play with and against, and get feedback with people playing with and against you. But if you're constantly not able to hold your own, then I have to make tiers of mentors, right? I have to be like, this is like an S tier mentor, this is an A tier mentor. And now the teachers are competing within each other. So I've seen that exactly what you're saying in Discords, where people compete with each other. And then it is no longer about learning, it's no longer about teaching, which is why I don't allow for that. That's why my tagline is, I build players, not ego. I don't care how, like, we have people in Cardinal Dive that come and guest speak, but I also think any player can give a good idea or good feedback. I don't care if you're good at the game. I care if you want to be there to learn, and I care if you want to be there to teach. If you're not there for either, get out of my class.
I like that.
Absolutely. I do genuinely agree with the idea as well that somebody has to be willing and has to withdraw their ego, especially in a learning state with everything. Because, like, I've worked with people in a spot that wasn't far from the city, and there was some real, like, hood alpha energy coming off of a guy that just joined the company 2 days ago that is clashing with their higher ups because they don't understand why they can't smoke in that area or why they can't come in at this time, at that blah. If you bring that mentality to a Destiny raid and you don't, like, resign your own pride, it definitely develops bad attitudes, where if you're constantly questioning everything you're being told, it definitely generates a bad energy in terms of learning a raid. And that is very, I do highly agree with what SighDUX has said. If you are a bad learner or you can't resign yourself to learn from somebody else, it is not going to be good. So don't do it.
Yeah, and I think we've because the open debate has been actually really good and everything. I think we should move on to the next subject. But the thing about it is that the way that we just kind of executed, like, these talking points kind of shows that we're making progress in the right direction. And so what I want to ask everybody to do me a favor, share the stream and everything, share the videos. Make sure you subscribe to everybody YouTube. Please subscribe to mine. I need to quit my job. I can't take it anymore. But I need to make sure that we make this very clear that when I post these videos, my main goal is to really get this in front of Debate Destiny. That's my one thing that you're not going to catch in here is the approval of death threats, obviously, right? But the harassment, right? We'll say that the harassment of it, because they get that enough in the comments, right? They get that enough on Twitter. They get enough in the comments under their videos and their things. This is not the point of the show. The point of the show is, like, let's cut through the Hey, so I appreciate that. I gotta read the chat. Let's cut through the noise. Let's cut through the weeds and actually show what it is that is being really said out here. We need the words of the PLG. We need the words of Versus. We need the words of Juggernaut. We need the words of SighDUX. We need the words of Google. We need the words of Mass Scorpion. We need the words of UncleJolly. And I like to be heard as well. The problem is how do we cut through the noise? And I personally took it upon myself to actually do that. I took it upon myself to bring this to everybody's attention that we're not actually fixing the problem. You know what happens? Let me tell you something. I bet you guys have not paid attention to this, and I wouldn't be surprised if Google has, though, because he's a little bit more, in the weeds of it itself, right, of Bungie. But have you ever noticed that when there's a problem being stated, and somebody asks, I've seen it on Dedo's shows and everything. Have you ever noticed that people will say, I don't know what they got to do, but they need to do it?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah, here's a problem.
How are we supposed to get anything right? And it's like, bro, but then we make we make suggestions from the community, right? Not just the elites, not just the addicts, but everybody, right? Everybody makes suggestions, and all of a sudden, no, that's stupid. Bungie would never do that. That pisses me off personally, because a lot of stuff that people said Bungie would never do, they ended up doing it. A lot of stuff. 10 years, you go back to what people said they would never do. It's in the game right now. You can do it right this moment. So we need to move on to the next subject. But before we do that, I got to show some love to chat. They have been super supportive and everything. Like I said, if you are enjoying the stream, please share and like and comment and everything, as you already are. But I have gotten some gifts from somebody new. I'm not even going to try to attempt to read what your name is, brother. But I'm going to say, bro, thank you for all of the roses. Thank you for all of the what is that? Is that a tip?
Hey, that looks like
I'm sorry,
Celtic.
I don't know
That
that.
looks like Celtic or Viking script.
Some Viking shit. We have gotten people from Valhalla in the building. I really appreciate you, bro. For the send me a heart, for the hearts and everything. Every little bit helps. Every little bit. Make sure you show some love in on everybody's social medias, in the chats, and go and comment. Just harass everybody on YouTube and everything. Say your points there as well, because this is not just about me. This is about the community and everything. So I got to do my thing, right? I got to do my thing. Yeah. Did it go out? I don't know. I hope my mic didn't go out and everything.
No, we heard it go
For
through.
a second, you're good.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the follow, SighDUX. I really appreciate that, bro. Let's read some of the comments while we go. Every little bit always freaking helps, man. What we got? Man, we got the chat got real active and everything. Whoa, I gotta read this one. He says, fuck marathon. Oh snap! It moved. It moved. No, hold on. And the people, and people don't want to teach Rays no more. Sadly, all toxic and screaming like 4-year-olds. Oh my goodness, Jay Bones. Thank you for the support. Thank you for your opinion is welcomed. Maybe not agreed. Yo, thank you, Valhalla. Thank you for those 20 coins, by the way, bro. Shout out to you. You get an explosion. I realized that I had to get the explosion. I'm learning, y'all. I'm learning as I go. Let's get back to the comments and everything. I said not the new ones, but because I can't get a teacher. Understandable. Once again, you can join my Discord in the bio. You did all of those achievements. You should not have an issue finding people. I'm not a big PvE player, but so I don't know where to go. Fireteam Finder doesn't usually do that. I don't have a problem with Fireteam Finder. We should probably talk about that. We'll probably do an episode dedicated to that specifically, but we'll do announcements later on tonight and everything. The POG says, also, fuck trials matchmaking. 1.8 placed with a 0.83 Guardians absolutely end me. Diabolical. It's it's infinite, bro. The PLG. Let's catch up to some of these things. How do I get in there? The Discord. Like I said, if the bio link is not like, you might want to screenshot it and everything. But what I will do, I wish I had my mods. My mods couldn't make it tonight. He's in a tournament tonight, so I couldn't actually put it. But I will pin it in the comments so you guys can join and have it and everything. And by the way, I had turned off notifications because it gets pretty crazy in there. So please don't think it's dead. Just jump in at any point in time and bug any of the Sherpas or the raid guides that are in there. They are more than happy to take people through Final Shapes raid. Yes, my shout out to Desperate Oak. He will absolutely get you through all the raids, but specifically Final Shape. That is his favorite one. There you go. There's the Discord link in there. I will pin it. But let's get back to these comments because I have quite a bit to get through. I only really care about Crucible and Ergo Sum. Shout out to you for gaping the gaping Garrier. I am so sorry. Forgive me. You can share the live. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, bro. Every little bit helps. So I don't do PvE stuff except for dungeons, says Juggernaut. Add the PLG. I will send you a link. Absolutely. Where I could find myself to go find it. Check out the gifts in your gallery, bro. I absolutely did. I think that, like I said, I'm catching up with all the comments. Thank you so much, Valhalla. I really appreciate it. Please forgive me for not being able to read your name. It's dope, though. It's dope as hell. I will not deny that at all. Well, there you go. Here we go. Hi, Sir Dex. They shouting you out. SighDUX. They shouting you out, bro. Like, I appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you guys supporting each other and everything. Do y'all know each other in there? Dux, what's the Pond Discord? I can't find it. Just feel you have it. I don't think. Oh, the Pond Discord. Okay. I didn't think Marathon is going to do. Yeah, that's dope as hell. By the way, because Sir Dux, that's fire as hell. You get an explosion for that. Absolutely. Yo, somebody said I don't think Marathon is going to do well. They're gonna need to milk D2 another continuation. Now let's go and make this clear. We did an episode on Destiny versus Marathon. We did an episode on will you play Marathon, and we all came to the same conclusion. And I'm not disregarding your opinion, but here's the thing: we want Marathon to actually be successful. Ooh, Google, we got to get your thoughts on that, by the way. But we'll say that for another time. But the community should probably want Marathon. I should say. I don't want to speak facts and claim facts. The community should probably want Marathon to be successful so that way they can stop dipping. Like let them get 2 good games so that way we can just lock in. They need all the money they can get because thanks to Pete Parkinson, we have to do a lot of we have to do a lot of recovering. Let me keep going and so we can get back to the chat. So we can get back to the show. As a 3-time playtester for Marathon, shit feels really good. Oh, thank you for that insight. We really appreciate that, POG. Yo, this is a great chat tonight. It really is. Southeastern Tech, we got somebody new that joined in. I came over from side stream, kept getting cut off by ads.
I believe it. Twitch.
I don't know. SighDUX, I'm sorry, bro. I'm so sorry, bro. I really do.
Oh, I put your name in my chat, by the way. So.
Hey, you know what? Another explosion. Damn it. Yes, that
person right there from my mentorship. So I have no problem with him wanting to listen in ad-free zone. Right now, I'm restricted.
Yeah,
from,
quick props to Jagger as well.
TikTok.
They popped over to my chat for a little while and hung out. Just props to you for spreading a little love as well.
This is what I'm talking about. All right, this is what I'm talking about. Wait, I said of course. Is Juggernaut injured and I don't know? Is that
Juggernaut's a friend of mine? Yeah.
Yeah, Jaggernaut 2000 in your chat, H. Yeah, they came from SighDUX and they were even at my chat for a little while.
Dude, I freaked out. I was like, bro, I've been shouting you out like you weren't in the freaking panel, but never mind. Yes. Shout out to you, Juggernaut. Explosion. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I gotta start using the soundboard, so I'm trying to get used to it. Last bit of comments, and then we're gonna move on. Yo, sorry about the ads. It's set to minimum, but Haiku, here is my mentorship. Wait, for Kaiju? Or do you mean Haiku?
Yeah, that's
Kaiju.
No, his real name in game is Kaiju.
Okay, cool. I had to make sure. I was like, wait, did you? I know spell chat, but you're on PC right now. It's here in my mentorship. I stood on the corner of saying Marathon would actually be a contender of ending D2, but I don't know how. It won't. Destiny won't die. As a matter of fact, we got to get your opinion on that. I got a bunch of questions for you, and we're not doing it here, Google. You're going to save it for my exclusive interview. Rumble is so fun and easy right now. Okay, shout out to you, Juggernaut. Another PvP grip I have is too much ability spam. We probably, you know what, we're probably going to do an episode of that as well, about the PvP state. Actually, that sounds like a lot of fun and everything.
I could write it. I could write a thesis on that.
Yeah.
What did you say, Jolly? You said you could.
No, I'm saying Sai would be great for that episode.
Oh, Sai would be great for that. Okay, great. Well, you would be great too, bro. Hopefully, we can get you for that specific. Hopefully, we can get you as a special guest for that specific episode. So I'll let you know, bro. Hardware, no ability feels really great. I have my opinions on Marathon, but I'm not getting into that. I hate no abilities. LOL. That's what I enjoy about Destiny. That's understandable. But it makes it to where I can't use Ergo.
I'm starting to think Jagger really likes Ergo some.
Bro, I am not mad about it, bro. Shout out to you, bro. In the void we trust is what I always say. I got you. I was a PvP D2 player, so I do miss it, but the content just doesn't hit for me now. Most balanced class is Solar Walks, and I have 12K on. I have 12.
Yeah, he's a freak.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's a really good player.
When I say freak, I mean that's a compliment. Like, he's just good. You would think that's kind of an odd compliment to be like, yeah, bro, you're kind of a freak, but it's actually a good thing.
He's good, nice, wants to support people, and then wrecks you in PvP. He's exactly
I will say,
I want out of players.
Jag will come to everyone's stream. He just makes rounds. So he'll go from mine to side to Cam's to Thick. Then he'll loop back around. Dude, Jag's dope.
I love that. This is the last comment that I read before we move into the next subject and then let them stack up again and everything. But I got to read this last one right here. POG says, I have got 15K on Ariana's. All I have to say is you only knew the power of the dark side. Oh my goodness gracious, bro. That is a diabolical. But let's go ahead and move on, guys, because we're making great pace. The chat is awesome. The panel is awesome. Make sure you guys keep sharing and keep liking. Shout out to Soldier Boy, just because you joined in. I really appreciate that. What? Who's
No, I
Soulja Boy?
just
Who's
know. I just know. He usually was in my stream. He's a cool guy.
Shout out to Soulja Boy. Yo, listen, it's a good time you joined because this is Uncle Jolly's this is his last
As of now,
episode
yeah.
for now, And it's crazy that you're leaving right now, specifically because on Sunday we have create your own DLC for Debate Destiny. So we'll see. And I said no.
I'll be trying to fix Jolly's arm.
Yeah.
I need
I
my
said I
safety
like Jolly.
blanket, man. You're my safety blanket, man.
Your safety blanket.
Yeah, dude, I
I'm
need
so
my
honored.
binky. You expect me to talk without a binky? What is this?
Is the thumb gonna be in the mouth? That would be the only.
Whatever you
deal.
want, if that keeps you in.
Good God.
Man, I'm so honored, dude.
Jolly
I'm
said
going
this was
nowhere.
going to be his last stream, and it was just.
Emotional.
Feels so bad that I haven't.
Okay, so
streamed
let's
at
go ahead and
all.
move on. Let's get to the next topic of the elites and everything. I had a couple ideas, but you know what I'd rather do, guys. Does anybody have something that they want to kind of bring up right now while we have the chance? To kind of keep moving on and everything. And if I have it, I'll probably do a quick little talk over about what I remembered earlier. But anybody got anything that they want to talk about when it comes to elites? And chat too. Honestly, if you got something that you want to say, please feel free to chime it in there and see if we can get any good suggestions and everything. I don't like being the only sole proprietor of the mic.
I got just a reminder for them. Everybody in this panel at the moment has every reason and any accolade you could want in their respective domains. Like, we got a couple PvP guys here. We got some PvE guys here. There is not a thing you can name that at least one of us has not done, and none of us are crappy to new players about it.
That's true.
Not one. You brought it up earlier, H. Every single person that plays this game has or will in the near future be the reason for an extra hour on an attempt. Has been the cause of a wipe. Remember where you came from. Have a little bit of humility when you're working with people that you deem lesser than you. They're no lesser. They're just less experienced. Treat them that way.
Oh my goodness. Explosion.
I would just like to say I'm perfect and I've never messed up.
Jolly, you are absolutely perfect until you leave the stream. Then we're all going to talk crap.
Yeah. Leak the Discord messages.
Anybody? Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
No, I just made a joke. I also like the lie with what Jolly said. I'm also perfect, apparently.
I've never messed up. I actually yell at New Guardians all the time.
I've never died before. I've never lost a game.
So I'm glad
my goodness. All the cap.
I love that
All
mirror
the
where
cap.
you guys are just like, I've never died. Meanwhile, the one time eventually when I do die during like a raid mechanic, I get withdraw into turtle shell like, fuck, I can't believe I died. Why?
Just a quick little, has anyone ever felt so bad about wiping the team that they just instantly left? Like, I have definitely felt so
I've definitely
bad.
walked away from the chair.
I might have done that before.
I've got a strategy for that, Jolly.
What's up?
When other people screw up, there's always a punching bag in the team. And I'll use Scorp as an example, right? Jolly, you could completely whiff and drop Gallahorn at your feet, okay? You could put the bubble up and kill everybody with rockets. I'm going to blame Scorp.
Oh, yeah.
Even when you mess up, damn it, Scorp, why'd you do that? He could be on a warlock. Why'd you drop your bubble? And man, I tell you what, it started as a goofy joke, and the dude that's the punching bag for the raid is in on the joke. It started as a joke, but buddy, does that make a lot of people feel a little bit better and giggle a little bit? Because it goes all around.
Oh,
Everybody
absolutely. I can tell quick little personal story with Google. The one time we played Ark Survival Evolved in the recent day, he tried to pick me up with a dinosaur when I was a little over encumbered. Instantly, you're fat. And now he keeps calling me fat in random games.
like SWAT, he mentioned earlier, we'll both try and go through a door. Scorp, you're fat. Move. Yeah.
Well, guys, I think I have a quick question since I think that this is something that's very important, right? And I was going to kind of save it towards the end, but I'll pose it right now because I like the energy that everybody's giving. I like everybody's experience and stuff like that. And you know what, Google, like I gotta give you an explosion just for what you said. Like, you know, everybody in here has never been a piece of worthless, fall and dump. To nobody and everything. Now, don't get me wrong, people have pissed me off, but yeah, that's very true. So but let me ask y'all this right here. Let me ask everybody this in the chat, in the panel, and everything. Do you guys think that elitism is hurting Destiny?
100%.
I don't.
It's
In its current state, there's
Hold on,
not.
Go ahead. In current state, yes.
All I was gonna say, and again, I'm talking about current state. I'm not saying has it ever hurt the community in the past. I would rather deal with a elitist problem right now because that would tell me there's something in the game to go for to separate the new lights from the in-game players than what we have right now, where everyone's in the same bracket and everyone has everything and nothing means anything. I'd rather have an elitist problem and like worry about getting kicked for the lack of knowledge than, well, I don't gotta worry about anything because it's just everything's a free-for-all.
Wow.
You show up and you get it.
Jolly's
Wow.
got a point. I want to revise mine to 99%.
but if we're talking about other, if we were talking about other like parts of the game, like times in the game, then yeah, that's a different. Like, there's definitely been a point where it went too far in one direction, but that's the problem now. Now we're too far in the opposite direction. We need something in the middle.
I need SighDUX. I need SighDUX's answer now. SighDUX,
If
you think
if we're talking
elitism is
about-
hurting Destiny?
If we're talking about elitism as far as how Jolly is like portraying it, as far as it's what's the chase, what weapons, what titles, what emblems,
Mhm.
no, not really, because I don't really think there is as much elitism as there has been in the past, because literally anyone can get anything just by participating. But if we're talking about mindset and what makes people quit the game, I do think that there is an elitist mindset, as in for PvP specifically, there's stuff called morality loadouts. There's things called, like, if you're not running hand cannon shotgun, they're going to call you all kinds of names. They're going to harass you. They're going to, like, basically call you a criminal, you know, imply that you're doing things with underage people, that you've visited a certain island. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not talking
And,
SpongeBob.
well-
Damn.
While that may be funny to young people, I think that really calling somebody a criminal, especially if you consider it from the lens that this is the first game they've ever played, and maybe they started watching a video, maybe however you feel about Hinra or whatever, if the first content creator they came across was Hinra, and they're like, wow, I want to play like that guy, and then every time they interact with somebody in the community, it's like they're called all of these names, they're probably going to not want to interact with that community. Now, some people might say, toughen up, you'd never survive in the Call of Duty lobbies. Totally fine, sure, but those games always have a population, so you can afford to lose players. This game doesn't have that luxury. You can't really afford to lose those
Ooh.
players.
That is
And-
wow. Go ahead. Yeah.
When you talk about Call of Duty, it's exclusively a PvP game, so it's going to be like, there's going to be some competitive and there's going to be less casual, as opposed to, like, there's some people that get on and they just play strikes. Nobody PvE or PvP is going to consider that person an endgame player. Everyone will say that's a casual player. But now if that casual player wants to play PvP, gets into it, and every time they get in, they feel like they get harassed. I have a friend who is so good at the game that he gets DDoSed every day for the same 2 hours because they don't like his loadout. And he's considering stopping playing the game. Now that's on a micro level. Now imagine every content creator that does PvP is either doom and gloom, or if you run anything, you're a joke if it's not a hand cannon shotgun. So I do think that elitism there could really ruin things. And put it into a little bit of perspective, I was one of the OG Peacekeepers. I was one of the OG Behemoths. I ran it from the beginning. I ran it when it was the least played subclass, and I got kicked from fire teams for not running Dunes, because Dunes at the time would triple chain and just kill everybody. I ran it when it was overpowered. I ran it now. I have 140,000 SMG final blows in the game. I'm in like the top 20 for SMG final blows. I got daily hate for running that, and if I didn't have a thick skin, people would quit. So I think elitism, as far as how you interact with your community and how you talk about loadouts, decision making, or say it's your first shooter ever and you make a mistake in trials and they're like, uninstall bot, I hate you. I think that can ruin a game.
Let me chime in real fast, because right now I want to hear Maya Scorpion's take on it, and then Google. You haven't given your answer, right? Just want to make sure you haven't given your answer, right?
No, just a little quip.
Okay, cool. So I'm right, but let me read these comments real fast. A lot of good stuff has gone down in the chat, and also good news. I have a question. It's going to be for the whole panel, but I'm very curious and I'm excited to hear this answer. So be prepared for it. But let's go ahead and get to the feed real fast. Ramen, yo, thank you so much for sharing the live, bro. That is much appreciated, bro. I really appreciate that. POG says just because that raid report looks great don't mean they're good. My goodness gracious.
Damn.
Dude's right.
Diabolically factual.
That applies to Crucible too.
Oh, absolutely. I love that. Actually, that was a great one.
3 and you can still get dogged on.
Oh, absolutely. You are always welcome here, PLG. Your elitism is always welcome here, PLG. But he also says, I see most of them be dumb as bricks. It's like people with certifications. Juggernaut 2000 says, I have left because of that as well. I saw that earlier. I think I have done it before too. I think I've messed up so badly that I was like, I'm tired. I gotta go. I'm ruining the experience right now for people. The PLG says, main elite take I have all Destiny players. We're the noob and they forgot that. Oof, that is a great point. Explosion. That is absolutely a very valid point. We need elites. To the question that I asked earlier, are elites hurting the game? He says, no, we need elites. Okay, that's understandable. Juggernaut says, which is also understandable as well. We don't have enough data on it, if we're being honest, which I'm trying to figure out how we can actually start scooping that up a little bit more. Elite push the limits of the game. Strand, Titan, Melee, BS. Okay. Another thing is if someone does an impossible feat, they're hated more than praised. I mean, shout out to Michael Jackson. Shout out to Naja Houston. That is a very factual truth, actually. The POG also says, I get death threats from my Ariana's stasis loadouts. I think we all get death threats when we are slaying out. But I also give death threats as well, only in chat though. I'll be like, hey bro, go fuck yourself. Anyway, even on Twitter, I've got called out as a notorious hacker, Ariana Val. Wow. You know what? You are the dark side. and I've been told that I know the chords to that. The chords to that. Wow, you were spot on, Sai. You were spot on with that. Actually, I see that was a real thing. Same thing. My Steam profile is filled with pixel cucks. I don't. Forgive me. Southeastern Tech. He's right. I threw morality loadouts out the window a long time ago. Exposed me for that one. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. I run Ophidian, Ariana, Rose, or Criminal Stasis Freeze. Oh my goodness gracious. If only knew the power of the dark side. Oh my goodness gracious. I ran Voidwalker before it was meta. It's what I know, and I don't really want to play anything else. There's nothing wrong with that. I have a friend who she only plays with a Vex Caliber, and she loves Warlord Ruin. I wonder if she's still in the chat. Actually, shout out to you. She actually helped me out with the. I'll say this real fast. She helped me with the last boss in Warlord's Ruin. That I was in there for 4 hours, and literally on my last raid banner because I didn't stock up on it. I'm talking about out of the season pass, by the way, y'all. Out of the season pass, even out of the Bungie previous season pass. And no, I do not have the extension to go further back, unfortunately. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you know. You already know. Yep. PLG, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm scared to say her name because TikTok doesn't like me. But she ended up giving me pointers on my last raid banner, and on that run, I actually cleared it. And I'm super grateful for that. So the elites have a vary of it. But Scorpion, we're gonna go to you real fast so we can get your answer, and then Google, we're gonna get yours as well, of course, so that way I can ask this next question about the same topic, of course. Do you think elites are hurting Destiny?
I definitely think the radical ends of every spectrum of elitism is definitely something that drives people away from certain things. Because like I've mentioned in the past, Google knows exactly what I'm talking about. We've had speedrunner friends that did everything they could to get an extra second down on a run. Occasionally they bring you in, ask you to step up to their level, and before too long, that dungeon or dungeon running in general becomes really not enjoyable because you've just done it so much for no good reason other than doing it, and it drags down. And to that same extent, like I said, the fringe aspects of elitism, the high KD grinders for no other reason than having a high KD and saying, and big dick swinging, essentially. Those aspects definitely run people down, and it kind of kills the patience. I don't think it's like a central problem. I was thinking of this weird analogy. I don't know why it came to my brain, but it's like cancer of the pinky toe. Yeah, cancer's a problem, but it's in really not an important spot. So I don't think it's ruining anything, but it's certainly not helping.
And that's
spreads.
Oh,
well, I know it spreads.
Yeah,
I know it
bars.
spreads, and it can get worse.
yeah.
But right now,
way to
it's-
use that analogy. Wow, damn, ouch.
Go
I'll
ahead,
be hurting if I
Scorpion.
was you.
Well, I
You
know.
gotta
I mean,
respond.
I know I chose a weird phrase because obviously cancer can spread and get worse. But in that same extent, I do think elitism has grown and it has gone down, and it's kind of gotten to an idea of, I'm thinking nowadays, what even is there to be elite about in their specs? Because like we've been talking about, no one's teaching. Raid running is weird. You can get tier 5 from trials without winning, so you don't even have to try so much anymore. Sure, there's people speed running, but there's kind of been records that have been set for ages. How are you going to get an extra bit on that? It's,
Say it.
Well, you know what?
Say it. Elitism what? Elitism
Jolly
does
over
what
here.
for the community?
Do it.
Say it.
Do it.
Open debate because I do want to hear.
I do have
Please remember. Let me say this real fast. Cancer. We all have cancer. It just depends on how you handle the cancer inside of you, honestly. But go ahead. What were you want to say?
So I feel like we're using elite and elitists interchangeably. And in my mind, they're completely different.
I'm sorry, SighDUX. Sorry, Doug. I really like what you're about to say, but can you save that for open debate just so that way I can get to Google? But please write that down, and I already like where you're about to go with that. Actually, okay. Please do that for me, okay? Please don't forget. Google, you're up next. Let me read these comments so that way they don't get too far ahead real fast, because there's fairly have you completed contest raids? I have not personally. I have not, but it's a reason why. Ascendant zero emblem. Don't mean you're good. Most are cheated or carried bots. Oh my goodness gracious. You're right. Yeah, you're right. PLG says Southeastern. I got the Ascendant zero emblem by carrying my team. Shout out to you, Juggernaut. That's fire and everything. So I have a real one. Yes, absolutely. If you can solo a GM, you're not an elite player, in my opinion. Oh my goodness gracious, that is a hot take. And it's very high. We're too fucking powerful. You're just taking all my accolades away from me and everything. Google, please. Go ahead, bro. Do you think elites are hurting Destiny?
I do to a degree, but I think they're a necessary darkness. I hesitate to say evil, and I'll defend my position on that one. every cracked build, every nuts weapon combo with certain perks and all this, that, and the next thing. Who found them? Almost every time it is not some random guardian. There's like, ooh, this is pretty cool. I like how this looks. I'm going to play with these together. Almost every time it's somebody that is so anal about the math, they might as well have a physics degree and how they calculate how these weapons and subclasses and perks and weapon slots and trait slots on your armor go together, that they figured it out. One thing all these people have in common, almost all of them, is they are what would be considered either elitist or elite in the community. These are the guys who are chasing esoteric. These are the guys who want to steal Saul Greppo's next belt. Are they great? Yeah, depending on your metric. Are they hurting us? Depends on who they run with, to be honest with you. And it depends on how loud their voice is. If you added all of us together, you're not going to have 500,000 subs. But you take one of these guys or a couple of these guys that find these builds, that data mine this stuff, and they do the math. Yeah, they're going to have the bigger voices. So in one respect, I would say they can hurt the community, because you got these guys. We talked about videos earlier. I want to be great in the Crucible. Well, this guy who's always on top of his game, who's always got the good stuff, says, I need to use this or I'm trash. Yes, those new players are listening to the wrong voices. Absolutely. But man, they've got the reach because they are elitist about what they do. They hyper fixate on getting the best stuff and the best timing and the best maneuvers and tactics. And I hate to say it, it pays off for them. But in the same respect, as they get better at the game, as they spread that knowledge, they're at least teaching somebody, and a rising tide raises all ships. Now, with, like Jolly said, what is there to chase? So are there really elites in the game? No, not really. But you do have to have a top of the leaderboard. You will have toxic elitists out there. I don't like those guys. But yeah, they're ruining aspects of the game, but nowhere near what they used to.
Yeah.
You know, I really appreciate your take. As a matter of fact, I must say this. I have to say this, right? And it's not even just because of toxic positivity, right? Because this kind of sounds like what I'm about to say. I really appreciate everybody on this panel, but I'm really appreciating having you, because for one thing is that because you're not sugarcoating Google, I'm talking about you specifically, because you're not sugarcoating and you're also giving such detailed answers, it's become somewhat very enlightening. It opens up discussion. So once again, thank you so much for this information. Is quite refreshing and everything. I'm going to read the chat, and I'm going to actually, what we're going to do for open debate is I'm going to start it off. Personally, I'm going to start it off by asking a question that I really want to ask SighDUX from what he said specifically. But before we do that, let's read some of the comments in the chat. And I'm excited for the next part because we're about to wrap up fairly soon. I got announcements after the debate for everybody. I'm sorry, I didn't give you guys a heads up, by the way, about this. So I'm sorry to the panel and everything. But let's go ahead and get these comments going on. After we had We're Too Fucking Powerful, Double Rocket Pulse Finality Augurs. Is that how you say it? Augur or something like that? I forgot.
Finality's Augur. Yeah.
Finality's Augur. Yeah, I need to get that actually. I am not an elite, clearly. Southeastern Tech said, if I'm playing a game like Destiny, where I'm the equivalent to a god, lowercase g, I want to be powerful. Yes, I think that's him replying to earlier when they said that they like ability spams. Maybe. PLG says facts, but if you can't beat one, you're not elite, and if you can't hit plat in PvP, you're not elite. You both get explosions, both of you. Oh my goodness gracious. Plat isn't even hard to hit. Oh God, bro, you guys are just making me so insecure about the game. This is what the problem is with you damn elites. Southeastern Tech also said, me normally stuck in goal 3. Yes, thank you, bro. Thank you. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. My brother who barely ever plays almost can get adept. He just loses the promotion series. That's hilarious. Absolutely. The condition that this game is hard is a lie. Jeez, some crepes, bro. There's a great disturbance in the force right now. Oh my goodness gracious. Hard difficulty is one shot BS. My bad. I don't even think I'm in lead. Real fast, real quick. I'm pretty sure you guys can hear, but you guys can hear the soundboard in chat, right? So about in TikTok, you guys can hear the soundboard. Let me know because I'm pretty sure I see it popping up and everything. Perfect, great, great. Also, it's not too loud, right? Let me know if it's too loud. I can't control that. Just want to make sure. Yeah, loud and clear. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Appreciate it. It's good. Much appreciated and everything. So for the question, so we can start off open debate. And Jolly, you're really excited. So make sure you write down whatever you got to say because I do not want you to forget it. I am really, really looking forward to it. It's perfect. I really appreciate that, Juggernaut. But SighDUX, I got this question for you, bro, because you said something that was very interesting. You gave a perspective on the elites themselves, right? And you said if it's according to Jolly and how he described it, then no. And if it's according to what you described, then yes. So I think everybody is going to be very excited for the question. So I'm building up anticipation for it on purpose because I think that this might be something that we have not addressed in the community tonight or in general. But do you think that there are two types, or better yet, do you think there are types of elites that might have varying outcomes and results? Open debate is now open, by the way. So yeah, but we're going to start off with SighDUX.
I'll answer that. I don't. I think that there's a difference between an elite player and an elitist, and I'll explain that. An elite player is someone who's mastered the mechanics, knows the routes, and consistently performs at a high level. They've earned their efficiency through experience, practice, and learning. But here's the key. They can teach, they can adapt, they can understand what it's like to be new. Their skill is a tool, not a barrier. They elevate everyone around them. An elitist, on the other hand, uses skill as a gate. They measure worth by whether someone else already knows what to do. They dismiss questions. They prioritize their own efficiency over the growth of others. Their approach might give a short-term smooth run or short-term smooth glute, but it destroys long-term health of groups and community. That would be number one. Of answering your question, I don't think you can use them interchangeably because in my mind they are different archetypes of people. An example of like an elite player would be like Salta Greppo. I'm sorry, so would be like not Salta Greppo. He would be what I would consider an elitist, where he constantly has takes where he wants to not tell people things. He wants to black out the screen. He wants to get like all he cares about is
gets divinity nerf.
He's a great.
Well, yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
But then somebody I would consider like an elite player would be somebody that is similar skill level, but often tries to help people. And I really like. I'm blinking on his name right now. Is it For the Player? But anyways, he would always like show himself doing solo GM, solo dungeon, solo this, solo that. And he would give descriptive details, how he's doing it, what he's doing, how strong it is, and wouldn't judge you for the loadout that you use. And I've seen this happen where people go, oh, you solo flawless this, or you did a contest with this, what loadout did you use? At the end of the day, if it's a regular raid, you can use any loadout in the game and complete it. But if it's a contest or high-end PvP, there's usually only going to be a few loadouts that work. So of course, they're probably using Getaway Artist. Of course, they're probably using Strongholds with Praxic Blade, because if you're soloing it, you need survivability, you need ad clear, and you need the ability to do damage. You can't rely on your team to drop a well or drop a tether. You have to be everything. And an elite player is somebody that acknowledges that, shows people that, doesn't judge them for that. And in my mind, an elitist is somebody that judges you for running a certain loadout, even though they'll run an adjacent loadout. Like, there'll be people like, I hate Stronghold because I hate Titans, but then they'll run Getaway Artist, which is with Praxic Blade too. So they're also deflecting and also not shooting the boss because their 4 turrets are.
They're double dipping.
And they'll be like, oh yeah, I would never complete a run like that. Meanwhile, they're doing basically the same thing, but on the other class.
Forgive me if I'm repeating something that you said. There's a lot that's going on right now, so you might have said this, but I just want to say this. I think that there's a safe a safe dichotomy, or I'm sorry, a safe bet to say, there are the elites, and then there are the elitists, right? And I feel like, as you described, Sargrepo is definitely a great example of the elitists, the ones that are blocking their pages, and then there are elites like such as yourself, SighDUX. You're definitely an elite. Everybody in this chat is actually elite. Even you, Matt Scorpion, despite your treacherous ways.
Treacherous.
I love you, bro. But yeah, there's definitely so when I say there's types, I think that that's where I was more gravitating towards. The problem is that everybody's not taking the time out to even make that distinguishment in general and everything. Let me read some comments real fast because this is open debate, but somebody said something that hadn't made a move that I have to read real fast. Elite is a perspective based on each person. I just realized it's 10:37. I have school tomorrow. Yo, I appreciate you sacrificing your future for us, bro. You are a real one. I really do appreciate that. You get an explosion.
Hell yeah. That'll help us school tomorrow.
You're welcome back anytime. Also, I kind of feel bad because if you're going to sleep right now, I was going to save the announcements for later, but I will say this: Debate Destiny will be the dates will be changed from Thursday and Sunday to Saturdays and Sundays. We will go over the notification. We will go over the announcements later on. But that's just so you know, Debate Destiny is now going to be on Saturdays and Sundays. I think it's going to be making it a lot easier for everybody, right? I was just afraid of people being here when they want to go out on Saturdays. So I'll try, but it's probably going to be earlier for everybody. But we'll go over that later on. Let's go back to the comments. I want to get better at PvP. That's why I play with Sai. Absolutely. Shout out to you, Sai. I feel like I've seen you before, but we'll go over that later on after the after show. What I could call an elite, what I could call elite, someone could disagree. I just need to get my confidence issue and tilt. Those are both deserves an explosion. Very valid. Oh no, I have like 2 projects due tomorrow and I haven't even started. Who needs projects when you have Debate Destiny? I am sorry. But no, bro, you're more than welcome. Matt Scorpion said, bro, get your work done, LOL. You can always have in the background, bro. You don't need to stay. You can just stay in the chat, but you don't need the chat, bro. Work on your projects. Hopefully not too distracting if you end up doing that. POG says, I enjoy going to the Cosmodrome and grabbing new Guardians and giving them crash courses. Shout out to you, POG. You are not an elitist. You are the elite, bro. I can definitely give you that, especially after all the points you made to, all night and everything. All the players at this point. I would drink Marasov's sweat, not gonna lie. And thanks to you, brother, you are the reason why I changed the art. Just for you, brother. Just for you. More and more, I have plenty of them. I'm just here, bro. But after a while, I'm not gonna keep giving y'all Marasov. I feel bad. What is it? Soliciting my wife to you guys. I really do, bro. Hey yo, says the PLG. Thunderlord can carry day 1 DP. The Matt Scorpion, but I'm going into a game. Love it, bro. I love it. See, that's the addiction at its finest. That is what Debate Destiny is for. Make sure you keep sharing the live. Make sure you keep liking the show, and so that we can keep doing this. I really appreciate it. Oh no, I have a test. I have so much tomorrow. Man, oh man, how old are you, bro? Hopefully, you're not too young. Hopefully you are young, so that way you don't have to worry about it too much. You got time to make it up. I go now. Bye bye. Later, brother. The art goes crazy. Yes, indeed. You get an explosion. Thank you for that. More and more. Yes, indeed. Give me Savathun. I do have one, but it's too NSW for TikTok. Not for me. I just found it. It's not for me though. I cannot stand Savathun, but I'm trying to find one for you guys. That one is quite hilarious. I'm probably going to get one of my artists to go ahead and cook it up. Savathusi. I might have to ban you, bro. I'm not going to lie, bro. I might have to.
Man, Moth Mommy.
Moth Mommy would have been acceptable. My man said Savathusi. I am disturbed, bro. I really hate that fucking word. I really do.
It has been ages since I've heard somebody say that. Good lord.
Right.
Okay, so oh damn it, that threw me off. I can't remember who was next. Oh no, it's open debate, right? It's open debate. So guys, yeah. So the question is, other types of it. But Jelly, go ahead and set it off, bro. Now that we're back into the show, bro.
Before I set it off, I do want to say, because I have to get up at 6 in the morning, I'm gonna make my statement, and then I'll have to leave because I feel bad that I'm yawning. And on top of that, I just want to say thank you to everyone, and thank you for going on your way to just mention. Again, I don't feel like I'm really all that relevant in this space. I think that I did what I did for a time while it was fun, and I morally think we're here for a good time, not a long time. And before something went bad, I decided to end it. So that's pretty much to clear up on the content side. Why am I choosing to move away from Destiny content? I'll be playing it until I'm 60 years old, until I have arthritis in my hands, which will happen soon. But as far as making content, it would take something major from Bungie for me to feel like get that want. You know what I'm saying? But as far as what I was gonna say, I think the best way I can. It's actually funny how this topic of elitism really like shines on me inside's relationship, how it even started. So originally,
Yes.
I went against Sai a couple times in PvP. I heard about him. I've never won, never won. Originally, like at that time, I wasn't doing TikTok. I think I might have done it a little bit, but it was for the wrong reasons. I wanted to like show off my cool PvP montages, and I wanted to get in this clan called Vulcan at the time, which all the guys who were doing TikTok at the time, that was during the Cloud Strike SMG meta, and I wanted to be one of the cool guys in this cool clan. And I don't think that I originally reached out to Sai to be toxic, but I think there probably was an underlining, like I knew that he had a following while I didn't, and I think maybe at the time I thought maybe playing with him will give me some kind of credibility. And this leads into the whole toxicity side, right? Because I was very much someone who was there. It's okay. It's kind of like being a poser in something, like a skateboarder poser. You got the clothes, you got the fits, you got the outfits, you got the lingo, but you don't have any of the like. So in Destiny, what that would look like, I was running the Rose in the shotgun with the Moonstern's emblem and the terror fit, the all black, and I went to comp with Sai, and keep in mind it was our first time ever actually talking, and right away I noticed his his character was a lot different from mine, and he was very like, he could perform and we could play comp, but it didn't have to be this egotistic. He wasn't saying, oh well, I got this many kills while you got this many kills, and we weren't comparing our stats for a game, and it wasn't like there was that normal like trying to figure out how to play together, but it wasn't this what I was used to where we were, oh I had the better KD so you got it. Wasn't this in competition with my own teammate. We were playing together and not against each other. And I remember I made the stupidest play. I did a lightning surge into absolutely nothing. And literally that right there would have been the determinant of winning and losing the game. But Sai didn't like sit there and yell at me. It wasn't like, oh, you did, like, why did you do something like that? Like he made like a joke, right? But it was all
I remember what
fun.
I said.
And I say all this because the player I was then at that point, I surrounded myself with people based on their stats, not on their character. I did things because I thought that was the sweaty thing to do. I was playing the game not how I want it, but how I thought you needed to play it to be perceived as good, right? So that's the truth about a lot of elite players. They're playing and doing certain things for a mental and not because they want to, right? And it was for SighDUX reason that completely changed my mind on how this game fundamentally works and why I need to play this game. And then that brought in, so if you take into account the player that I was then, very toxic, first person send messages, blaming teammates all the time, took no accountability, but thought I was the best at the game. With no reason to think I'm the best at the game. To now, where of course I still have my moments where I get upset or I get angry, but I don't voice it, right? I take accountability for where I'm lacking and not somewhere else. And from there, I had no solo flawless dungeons. Now I have all of them. I was like a 1.1. Now
Wow.
I'm a 1.58. Right? Like stats don't mean anything, but it shows the difference in morale when you're not forcing yourself to be an elite player and have these certain things to be elite. You've actually become an elite player by being someone who's willing to help. You're doing achievements because you want achievements. You're striving for more to be more. The whole game changes when you don't actually have an elite mindset. You become elite, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And see, it's stories like that kind of differentiate everybody, right? Like, Google, what do you even think about how he even put that, right? Like, he made some very valid points, just at the fact that like this, it's the morale. I like that part. The morale of being able to go through that and do that. That's what kind of makes that makes you more of an elite than an elitist. I think takes are more of an elitist thing than just your accolades.
Right. It's the elitist is such a dress code in this game. It's you need to have this, and this, and half the people who are elitists aren't doing it because they just want to fit the quota. Is all they're doing, right? Like that's what I think. They're doing things not because they want to do them. They want other people to know that they did these things, right? It's no longer about their self journey. They need to be accepted by everyone else. They use hand cannons and shotguns because it's morality the correct thing. They're not using them to, like, maybe they do enjoy it, but the whole reason they even got into it because they were like, that's the cool thing to do. Having these emblems is the cool thing to do. It's like that members cool kid only club that I don't even know how that got into Destiny. I have no clue how those two things ever, but it blends in such a weird way.
Yeah, absolutely. Google, let's get you in here, bro. What's your thoughts on that, Bert? For what he said.
Morale absolutely plays a part. There's no way around it. When you're having a good time, when you're laughing, maybe not even laughing with the guys, but you're just having a good time. Playing this game and so many others comes so much easier. Have you ever hit that magical flow state where you are just locked in? You're hitting your shots, you're popping people's heads, you're speeding faster than you think you ever have to the next mechanic while you're being berated or harassed about what guns you're running, while you're being talked down to about, oh, well, you hit him in the chest, not the head. You missed this block or that mechanic. No, because you're sitting there focusing on what the guy or gal running their mouth to you is talking about, and you're having one of just a few reactions. One, well, they're wrong. I know what I'm doing. I'm doing fine. I'm not doing horrible. Or two, okay, maybe I do need to take a minute and change my stuff. Or three, you're just shutting down.
Yeah.
Morale plays such a big part in this. I mean, in my opinion, that's half the reason, roughly, why people will put in earbuds or headphones and they will know Mike Crucible or Dungeons or whatever it is. They're sitting there, they're listening to a playlist they got made that puts them in that mood, that gets them just a little bit closer, and then they start to relax. Their shoulders drop, they loosen up, their jaw's not so tight, and they start hitting those shots. Morale makes a world of difference in any game. Well, maybe not any game. I don't know if morale matters in Stardew Valley, but in Destiny, 100%.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Okay, so here's the deal. Tonight was such an enlightening moment. We made a lot of progress. Every episode that we do with Debate Destiny, we actually make a ton of progress. More progress than I have ever seen. I have never seen such synergy, camaraderie, or even like suggestions. Because we're not here. I love when we debate, but we're not here to debate. It's just a part of it, right? It's supposed to be able to support what you've noticed, right? Bring what you've noticed into the community. Notice what you've noticed about Bungie and everything, because we're all frustrated. We're all tired. Scorpion, I want to ask you a question real fast because we need to wrap things up with some announcements and some plugging and everything. But I just want to ask you, do you have anything that you really need to get out of you, or could we like kind of save it? Because here's the thing: next week is your episode. I'm not next week. The next episode on Sunday is your episode, right? Because you brought that up and everything, which I'm going to give in the announcements. But if you want, you can just spew it out. But do you need to get something off your chest, or do you feel validated, seen? Do you feel like you got everything that you needed out off your chest, or do you have something that you want to kind of throw out there real fast? Before I start reading these chats and wrapping up the show.
I think most of what I got or what needed to be said did. And I do definitely feel like with this last thing people have been talking about, the general morale, I do think that people genuinely need to understand that once upon a time, like we've mentioned before, there was people to spare. And we could put up the walls, have a little bit of a elite only area or like a VIP club of the best, everyone you knew, the guys who could do it faster than anyone. But those walls desperately in this day and age need to drop, because I think back to when a few years ago when it was Lightfall era. It wasn't like it was a terrible time, but it definitely was shaky. We can all understand that you might have enjoyed Lightfall, but a vast majority of people definitely did not think it hit nearly as good as they thought it was. And it's around that time that I met a mutual friend of mine between me and Google, Rose. She wasn't a kindergarten, but she wasn't exactly experienced. And teaching her the ways that me and Google knew the game, to an extent, was one of those moments that I felt a connection where I felt like a teacher and I felt like I was one of the elites because she was learning so many things. She watched me eradicate Heist Battleground Grandmasters with a single well in hierarchy of needs, chain reaction ignitions, and she was like, holy crap, that build is awesome. And I think between that and that kind of idea of, like SighDUX said, spreading the knowledge, teaching people, we definitely need more of that and more understanding that Destiny needs community before any sort of actual elitism. We don't need walls. We desperately need community, because it's like you said, H, with like Marathon. The logical person may not like Marathon, but they understand that it can directly connect to Destiny's success if it succeeds or fails. And there desperately needs to be a unified community that says, let's work together. And like you said, let's make Destiny better the best way we can. Not put up walls and say, well, I did the raid with 2 people, screw you. You know, none of that.
Yes, no, absolutely. And matter of fact, I think we need to I think I'm going to start the movement. Let's push elites and push out elitism. So listen, before we go, I saw a specific comment in the chat real fast, and absolutely, SighDUX, you're more than welcome to give your thought. Let me read the chat real fast. We'll do announcements. Please, everybody, hang around for a minute, because I do have some things that I want to bring to everybody's attention real fast before we go. And also, while we're at it, can everybody just do me a favor? Put all of your social medias, put all your everything that you got, like your YouTubes and stuff like that, put them into the Discord chat. I'm going to start pinning them. I'm going to start putting them into the chat so everybody can follow. I know a lot of people already came over from SighDUX and everything, but still put them in there for anybody that might be lingering around. I want to read these chats while I do that and everything. And then SighDUX, you have the mic, okay? So give me a second. Let me go ahead and catch back up on these comments real fast. We got some good takes. What was it? I had that one the other day. You're blaming your teammates. The PLG said trying to give her your worm.
Yes,
Oh
sir.
my goodness gracious. Diabolical Zavathusy. What is it? What's the word?
You got some
Degeneracy.
winners in chat.
Degeneracy. Yeah, we got to. Hey. You know. If you start blaming your teammates after, and I'm sorry. If you start blaming your teammates and type while the match is going, you deserve less. That sounds like a shot at Battlefield, because they are notorious for that. Guys, we are in the middle of a match, and y'all having a full blown conversation in the chat. I know you got. Never mind. I'm not even going to say that.
I'm just getting flashbacks. PTFO, motherfucker.
I had that. I had that the other day when playing Trials. POG. My team was talking. Yes, absolutely. It's always Trials every time, and continue to die first. Keep morale and momentum. Wins matches. Absolutely. There's an explosion for that one right there. You break that, you lose most of the time, vice versa. I was the solo in the scenario. I can definitely understand that. You break there's it's easy GG. I'm sorry. I couldn't catch that one, brother. I'm sorry. Podcast and Destiny, absolutely. I have moments where I locked the fuck in and I don't consider myself good. Shout out to you, brother. When you play dual hand cannons, you have to be locked all the time or you get punished a lot. I'm sure that is more of I cannot get behind dual hand cannons unless it's dual wield. When I switch it off, it sounds so much easier to play and I enjoy dumb builds, anti-meta all the way. That's an explosion worthy right there, brother. I absolutely agree. I'm still trying to find all of the guns I jive with. I don't want to be a one-trick pony. Totally agree on that one. I do have one final thought. Oh, that was you, SighDUX. Sorry. And devious picture of Marwa Soft. Should I go ahead and just change it just because somebody already mentioned another picture of her? I'm probably gonna save it for the next episode because this is a fire photo. I'm loving it. I'm gonna call her later when we get out of here. I'm on my way. SighDUX, the floor is yours. You have the mic, bro. Please give us your final thought, and then we're gonna wrap up the show with our with the announcements and plugs and everything. Please make sure you get those plugs into the chat so I can start reading them off and putting them into the chat on live.
Okay, so I remember it was offhanded joke, and maybe you weren't meaning much by it, but it's something that I've encountered with other players. Haiku, they said if you can't hit plat, you're bad at the game, and you're like, oh man.
I'm insecure about it. Yeah.
What I usually tell people is if you start a job and you've never done this type of job before, and you don't have any experience, it's normal to be bad at that job. And then I don't know if it was Scorpion or if it was Google. You were talking about how you coached and helped somebody that was kind of experienced at the game, but not fully experienced. Okay. My thing is that I have an analogy I give people all the time. They're like, I should be better. I've played long enough. And the analogy I always say is, if you're not practicing with intention and good habits, you're not learning anything. And the analogy I say to that is, if one man is trying to hammer a nail with the wood part of the hammer, not the head, for 1,000 hours, he's going to do worse at nailing than the man who practices for 100 hours using the head of the hammer. And what I usually tell people is comparison is the thief of joy. You should not be comparing yourself to other people, their accolades, their accomplishments, their subs, their whatever. You should be comparing yourself to yourself. For example, my goal is I usually try to be 1% better every day at any given skill, real life video game. Because that means after a year, you could conceivably be 365% better at it. And then I want to address the thing that Jolly said, where, he lightning surged out in the middle of nowhere. And there's a lot of teams that in comp, they would have lit him up for that. They would have, made him feel bad about that decision. I remember what I said. What I said was, well, that is a decision you can do in the video game. He laughed real hard. We finished the comp. We won the match. Afterwards, I remember he talked to me and said, thank you for not lighting me up over a mistake. And I think that really tells the difference between elites and elitism. Because I replied, of course, it's just one play in many games. Why would I care over one mistake? And the fact that he apologized for it and felt bad and was worried is more telling to how the community treats people in both PvP and PvE, even as a good player like Jolly, then it's not. And I do think that it's important to focus on self-improvement And I think it's important to focus on what you can do different, both in game and in real life. You play 50 matches of trials, the only common denominator is you. Not your bad teammates, not the meta, not your loadouts, it's you.
If I could just add to what Sai said, and I was gonna say this earlier, he should have totally railed me for that fucking play because there was no one next to the lightning surge. But
I just got done wiping the team; they were all dead. And then he said, "I'm going in," and he lightning surged nothing, and I just was like, "Oh, that's a play you can do in the game." Cool.
But what I will say is, and this is something that everyone should think about. Yeah, I know you've gone to comments, you've seen it in your comments, you've seen it in people's stream. It's always my blueberries, my blueberries. I was like, okay, now what are the chances that 99% of the community, it's always their blueberries are the reason why they're not winning their games? I was like, that logically doesn't make sense. Sometimes you have to be the problem in that scenario. There is no way 90% of us are just getting team dipped all the time. That doesn't make sense.
It's
I love it.
Hearing somebody say they've been kicked out of one club, okay, maybe the club is bad, but if they tell you they've been kicked out of every club in Houston, maybe they might be the problem.
Right, exactly. So
Absolutely. Listen, guys. I think that this absolutely deserves, especially with the way SighDUX just went on ahead and just ended the show for us. That was a great monologue that we should all be accepting. You definitely get a explosion for that because
Yeah.
I don't like he got
Damn,
more emotions
bro.
than me tonight.
I'll
well,
show the
mainly because I
explosions,
just
man.
started using
I'm
it a
gonna
lot more
explode in a
properly.
different way with you, Sai.
I mean, mine was on the screen, But let's go ahead and wrap up the show, guys. I got some announcements that I would like to give. I want to hurry up and do this as fast as possible for at least Jolly, but I do want to say, Jolly, bro, thank you so much, bro. I really appreciate you for joining. You were like one of the original guests. I think you were the first guest, and then Matt joined up, right? Matt, you came after Jolly, I believe, right? You were like, oh yeah, I'll join up. And the way the vibe and the energy spread it out like amongst people, like how you brought people in and you connected me with some content creators that I already knew of. I'm pretty sure I know about SighDUX. I just didn't get a chance to really do any research at the time. But dude, you are always welcomed here. You are always by the way, I'm gonna read chat in a second. I got you guys. You are always more welcome here. Hopefully Destiny does something to bring you back, because I always say if Destiny isn't treating you good, take a break. You're not obligated to play it when you don't like it. So bro, please always feel welcome. Always feel like you want to chime in if you got any ideas, and hopefully I can get you as a special guest for that one episode. I can't remember what it was, but I'm pretty sure I wrote it down somewhere and everything. I'm gonna probably watch the video and everything, so hopefully we can get you back for that, bro. But thank you so much, everybody. Give some love and some W's in the chat for UncleJolly. He is definitely a loved one in the community for sure, bro, and I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, that's why I say nothing's permanent, nothing's for sure. And like, I did have a private conversation with Sai. He's someone I do consider more than just a friend, someone I can trust, and it did make me feel reassured in my decision. I always strive to be authentic with people, and I've seen how my content has dramatically changed. And I'm not going to say it's for the worse. There's just not enough differential, right? There's not. If you go back a year, it started out with doing fun skits with coworkers. Then there was here and there about mental health, and then there was deep talks about Destiny. But it's gotten to a point where it's so much one thing, and I think that really truly shows where the state of the game is. And I have my own personal things with Bungie that I'm not going to disclose, don't want to rehash really,
Understandable,
but
yeah.
If you guys still want to see me, I do have I posted my first automotive. I've been in automotive. It's also something that I've loved for a long time. It's almost similar content, just take out any of the Destiny reference and it's just automotive, and but no obligations. You know what I'm saying? It's still fun. I still enjoyed. There's gonna be skits. There's gonna be the same things. I just don't have. I just want. I think more than anything, I think it was a fun ride. I think I just want to be a gamer. I don't want to be someone that talks about Destiny. You know what I mean? I just want to just play. And I think that's where it comes from. I was a gamer at first. I want to just stay a gamer. So that's
Absolutely,
my
bro.
opinion on that.
Thank you so much, bro. I really appreciate it, man. Listen, guys, this is a place for all of us, even the ones that may not deserve it. But neither here nor there. Let me go ahead and do some of these announcements for everybody. As I've already stated, Debate Destiny will now be on Saturday and Sunday. So make sure you watch out for trailers. Make sure you get some follows and everything. I went on and gone ahead and put up a video that Juggernaut 2000, who was in the chat earlier, he actually sent a video. He was like, yo, check it out. And he's absolutely going bonkers and everything. I'm going to actually link that into the chat too, so he can get those views. Because this is actually some bonkers. This is some bonkers gameplay, if I'm being completely honest. The other thing is, yeah, I think the other thing is make sure you got. Oh, I gotta open up the chat for all the creators everybody was putting into here and everything. Guys, I know you like. I know you really like the topics and everything, depending on, if it's something that's really hitting close. But on Sunday, that episode that's coming up, we're going to be talking about create your own DLC for Destiny, right? So that way we can kind of start giving some bigger ideas. I think Bungie needs all the help they can get. Personally, I gave the ideas for lightsabers a long time ago, and they've given it to us, and that's just kind of the idea of it. Mad Scorpion actually is the one who proposed that, so he's going to be taking the lead on that one. So I hope you prepared for that, bro. You ready for that, right? It's on Sunday.
Well, Google threw some shade at me. I was like, oh, he's just going to walk right at the machine in that. But
I remember that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I still,
My favorite raid, by the way.
they started digging into alternate timelines, and there is only infinite sources you can go once you start pulling ideas from alternate timelines, Bungie. But yeah, certainly I'm thinking of some places I would have loved to visit in the universe that is mentioned but never visited, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. And honestly, bro, I'm looking forward to it. Wub, I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if Wub, she couldn't make it tonight, but she actually already sent me. She's like, I got the script ready for Sunday.
She was writing a script the moment I suggested it.
Yeah, the moment she was on it, bro.
I really hope she can make it Sunday. I'm excited to see what she's got.
I don't think she's gonna miss it for the world. And I'm also going to try. I'm gonna try and start it exactly at 7 p.m. so that way everybody can be it, because I actually have to do overtime. Please like and subscribe everybody's channels and everything, so we can be free from this.
Get this man his own job.
Please. But no, we're definitely going to be doing that on Sunday, and I don't think she's going to miss that for the freaking world, bro. The other thing that I have to say is, let me get this in the chat real fast. Please go subscribe to all of these channels and everything if you haven't already. Every little bit helps. Comment, share, and everything. Because the debate episodes are also going to be up there too. So if you miss an episode, if you missed the live, you missed the episode that you wanted to see, don't worry. It's going to be up on YouTube. We're stacking up a month worth of content right now, so that way we can have at least weekly or daily uploads and everything. So please support the creators so that way we can get the word out. I need you guys to also subscribe too, also, so that way Bungie can start seeing this, right? Because see, Bungie does watch the creators, but I kind of want us to be a go-to. So there's not going to be no biased talks. They can buy me out, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to censor me. I'm sorry, okay? Like, you're not going to be able to censor me. But if you want to give me some of that Pete Parsons money, I'm more than happy to take in everything. But for real though, please make sure you subscribe to all of the creators and everything, so that way we can get this word out. I'm working really, really hard for this and everything. The other thing is, I am actually, the reason why I've been sharing these photos, because I wanted to see, if it was like. But I'm actually doing a brand drop, merch drop real soon. You'll see it and everything, and it's going to be ads for it and everything on TikTok, because I'm going to do this full time. But I wanted to know what the people like, and obviously they like the Gooner bait. So and I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. If you look at my room right now, I have it. I have photos Oh crap! It's blocking it. It did a whole 360. I have it all on my wall, boys. I have it all on my walls, right there, right there. Yes, indeed. And I have some behind the computer just to motivate me to keep pushing, right? So I'm gonna actually do a merch drop, right? It's gonna be limited time, limited editions with the specific on. It's not only gonna be Gunnar Bait, it's gonna be all types of stuff, right? And also the reason why I wanted everybody to stay is because what I want to do is I want to do a collab with everybody, all the panels and everything, where you can directly support everybody that does an episode of Debate Destiny. I've been keeping it close to wraps and everything, but you can get a Haiku times SighDUX. You can get a Haiku times Jolly, even though he's retiring. I'm still going to do a collab with him. We're going to do one with Mad Scorpion. I'm looking forward to doing the designs with you guys, by the way, to kind of just, see what we can do to collabs. But there's definitely going to be plenty of Marasov posters for everybody to purchase, t-shirts and all types of stuff. Maybe you don't want to walk around with it, but you want to have it in your room. There you go, and everything. So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTubes. Make sure you follow everybody that's in here. Google, you didn't put nothing there. You're just here for Debate Destiny, huh, bro?
Yes, sir. Well, you've got the Twitch link in there earlier. I've got a YouTube built. I just haven't put anything on it yet.
Yeah, I'll put. You know what? You're right. I do have your Twitch link, so we'll put that in there. And you said the second. What was the second thing you said?
I've got a YouTube built. I just haven't put anything up on it yet.
Well, let's make some changes with that, bro. Let's see if we can get some content going.
Speaking of the YouTube as well, in case anyone wishes to watch the streams on an archive, I do have exception being the first one I was a part of, but I do have my streams archived on the chat, so it's the same stream, just a little bit of a different perspective. So if anyone ever wants to revisit these streams, they're fully available for reviewing.
Yeah, absolutely, and I appreciate that. And I will give you the first episode. I do have that. I don't really plan on doing the archives on the direct channel, but you know what? I might just forward them to you. That way we can do some cross promotion. I want everybody to support. I want this to grow large. I want everybody to get their piece of the pie because we are all dedicated to the game. So we're doing this for the community so you guys can speak. I want to give back as much as possible. And I'm also going to be doing a fundraiser for the Bungie Foundation and everything, so that way we can start getting some Discord, getting some emblems out there and everything, and also, we can, I really don't want to be selfish with this, and also the Discord. I will put this in the Discord. Let me put the Discord link, invite to the server as well, again into the chat, and then hopefully we can get everybody else into there and everything, into it. So once again, thank you to the entire panel. Hopefully I didn't forget anything, guys. You gave me the link, so you don't need to plug yourself, but if you'd like to say any goodbyes, this is the opportunity. Anybody got anything to say?
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, same, and appreciate both SighDUX and Jolly coming out, and of course appreciate my buddy Google for staying up a little bit past his bedtime and just hanging out because I asked him to.
Past my bedtime.
Yep. I just want to say thank you for having me, and there's the only thing that separates the people listening from what all of us has done is just time and doing it. You can start tomorrow, or you can wish one day later you started years ago.
Also, amen to all the commenters that say dead Destiny. We love them. Those are my favorite.
My final thing would be, I think people overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in 10. To just piggyback on what he said.
Yeah, you're definitely go to SighDUX. Let's do some content, and this is perfect timing because TikTok just restricted me. You see how I sacrifice myself for you guys? You see what I do for you, right? So at least I can do some more likes and everything.
You show them the picture.
You show the gooner. You were too much gooning in chat.
But look at a bunch of people flew in at the end of the show, just like, damn, Lord. Shout out to everybody and everything. Like I said, look out for the merch drop. Go follow everybody, and thank you to the entire panel. I will see you guys on Sunday for create your own DLC, and also